Hello from the east coast of Canada. The lighthouses line the shores of Nova Scotia. We are here in Sydney, Canada. You follow the lighthouses, you'll get into the Sydney Harbor and be welcomed by the world's largest fiddle, as it welcomes you to the Celtic community of Sydney. Not far from the fiddle is Centre 200, named in honor of the 200th anniversary of the city of Sydney. We're here inside for day 3 of competition, the BKT Tires World Women's Curling Championship 2024, as we will see 3 games out on the ice. Session 6, Turkey taking on Switzerland, will be our focus this morning. For you from Sydney, as Switzerland tries to continue their winning ways, taking on Turkey, and who will come out on top in this one. Little different on these mornings where we just have 3 games. We'll set you up for all that action here throughout. Let's meet the teams here in our feature matchup. We'll start Turkey, their lead, Berfin Şengül. Their second, Elfayet Şafak Şalikashu. Their third, Ozner Polat. And the skip in their 3rd straight World Championship, Dilshat Yildiz. They'll take on the 4-time reigning world champions from Switzerland. Their lead, Karo Hovald. Second, Selina Vishanke. A skip throwing 3rd stones, Silvana Tiranzoni. And the 4th stone thrower, Alina Pats. They've been on quite the run. They sit atop along with Canada and Italy at 3-0. Then Denmark and Korea at 2-1. The US has played 4 games, they're at 2-2. Japan, Norway, New Zealand, Scotland, and Turkey at 1-2. Estonia and Sweden 0-3. So 2 days in, this is the competition standing so far. It's a full round robin. Those 13 teams will then be whittled down to 6 for the playoffs. Switzerland obviously has eyes on that as they strive for another win. The ritual of the handshakes before the games. Here's all the matchups in session 6. We're on sheet A, Turkey and Switzerland. Sheet B, it's New Zealand, got their first win at a World Women's Game yesterday. They'll take on winless Sweden, so it must. Denmark at 2-1 takes on Scotland, who are 1-2. All these games pivotal because Olympic points matter as well, qualifying for Italy in 2026. Rules of play, 6 ends minimum must be played. 38 minutes of thinking time given to each team. 1 60-second timeout. And the free guard zone, no tick rule, is in effect throughout all the World Championships. Luke Coley here alongside Olympian Melissa Saligo. Saw the Turkey team yesterday. They come out with a win against Japan. Got that win. They've improved in their 2 previous Worlds, trying to do that again for a 3rd year.
Exactly, and we saw them play already once when you and I were commentating, and they really are playing better and better and better, and they're getting so much more precise on their hits and their draws, and I think if they ever have a game that they can just put it together, they're going to bring a really strong game here against a very, very tough competitor.
Yeah, and they're at 38 straight World Championship wins in a row for Switzerland. Silvana Tiranzoni and this team, they bring in a new second this year and haven't really missed a beat. Selina Vishanke, and then Karo Hovald drops to the lead. So just trying to find that right mix, even though you're still winning.
Exactly, and like you say, they haven't missed a beat. They have been unbelievable, and there you go. Probably one of the best female curlers we've ever seen right there, Alina Pats.
It's hard to argue with that.
Hard to argue. She makes everything. 4
in a row. Even before she joined Silvana, she won one not on her own, with a different team. It was a different squad. Joins forces with Silvana. The only thing they haven't had that success at, Olympic Games. And that's obviously what they're striving for. You'll hear lots of the bells and the hop Swiss in the crowd, as they're hoping to have lots to cheer for on a Monday morning in Sydney. What better thing to do in the morning? Get up, watch some curling here in beautiful Cape Breton Island. The last stone draw numbers, Switzerland 25.3, so they get last stone to start. They'll have the yellow stones, Turkey with the red, and they'll get things underway. Berfin Şengül. 21-year-old. They had a very focused game plan against Japan and all their with the hammer. We'll see what they do without. They go in. Switzerland wants to go right after it. Switzerland probably the more aggressive team.
It'll be very interesting because, like you say, they did have a specific game plan, and both Japan and Turkey yesterday a little bit cautious, but we know Switzerland loves to have rocks in play. They love to be aggressive. They know how to make the high, hard ones, so I think they are going to probably go after them right away, and we'll see that right here. Tirzoni calling the corner guard.
Carol Hovald, a member of this team now. Just the second year she's been a full-time player, has been the alternate before. She has 6 world titles to her name. Wants to add another one at another different position. She's won one as second last year. Here looking to win one as the lead. Not surprising, her number is right near the top, as they are at every position across the board for Switzerland. So you need Turkey's best game if they want to stay with them and try and pull out the win.
So good start for Turkey and Burfin there. She puts that one top 4. So now looking for a tight guard here. And this is one of those situations right off the get-go here. You don't want to really slip into the rings. You want to put this in a position that Switzerland can't actually hit it. But it is going to be heavy, so plan B here, maybe go in behind.
Well, a few different options with that. They could ignore them, they could hit them, they can freeze. Looks like the hit's the call.
It is, and I don't know if you're going to make both, but maybe a hit and roll towards your corner guard.
Trying to get the long roll, get the extra spin off that second one.
What a shot.
They're just a well-oiled machine in that. Just getting that little contact with the second one allowed it to get the extra spin.
Yeah, brilliant shot there. Nice call by Silvana. And like you say, with that little extra spin, it went a little farther and is completely buried. Just shows incredible experience on the Switzerland side. Playing the chase, I believe.
The 21-year-old on the front end for Turkey, İlfayet Şafak Şalikashu.
They could throw just this straight freeze as well, Luke, instead of throwing any weight at it. Trying to get more of your rocks in play here, but oh, so close.
And worst case, touches it, doesn't remove it, leaves it out in front.
Yeah, so that's a situation where you've already have one in the ring, so if you don't make this perfect, this is an opportunity now, obviously, for Switzerland to lie too early. But if you throw that freeze, at least you know that your rock's going to be close and in the ring somewhere and will need to be dealt with at some point.
Selena Vichonke, new addition to this team, world bronze medalist in juniors in 2019. She was throwing last stones, won that, and that World Juniors was hosted in Liverpool, Nova Scotia here, so about a 5-6 hour drive from here further south into the mainland of Nova Scotia. Trying to roll it over, get it closer to the other one, sits in the forefoot, shot stone.
Nice weight selection there, allowing your brushers to have some impact on the rock. The goal here for Switzerland now is just to roll away again. They could roll under, but I don't think they'd probably be grouping their stones, so likely they're going to roll to the other side of the rings. Unless there's room to roll there, nope.
Needs to sit in order to lie 1-2, and it'll hang around back 12 foot.
Nicely done.
Very easy for a team that's had this success to get a little complacent. But 38 straight wins at the World Championship, trying to make it 39. There's only ever been 4 teams that have gone to be unbeaten and win a World Championship. 2 of them, this Tirinzoni team. The other two Canadian teams, Rachel Holm and Jennifer Jones. Trying to do it 3 straight years.
So this is a little risk versus reward here right now, Luke. You're playing a shot that is pretty much fully buried behind a guard. And if you ever tick the guard, you're looking at giving 3 here. But no mistake made by Turkey. What a shot.
Ozner Palat, look at that sweep, front end, able to get that one by.
Lots of room. Oh, what a terrific shot. And that's what Turkey is probably going to have to do. They're going to have to take a couple of risks, a couple of chances, try and put some pressure on their opponents. This stone for Tirinzoni is pretty much open. She might even be able to throw it soft enough to get a slight roll underneath.
Silvana Tirinzoni, 44 years of age, 7th Worlds. She's played in a couple Olympic Winter Games, but no medals there. Will actually make a little roll underneath on that one. It's probably half protected by that corner guard.
It's a great shot there by Silvana.
Would it make sense to hit the open one if you're Turkey, try and roll in for a shot?
I don't mind that call at all, in fact. The only way you're going to potentially give 3 is if you hit the guard here. So this is a tough shot. It's a tougher shot, obviously, than hitting the open one. But they made it on the previous shot, so they're going to try it again. And if they can ever get a big roll over towards that other yellow, that would be huge.
Big sweep, trying to get that one over to make contact, and will hit and roll in behind the other side. So still 1 for Switzerland.
That curls another inch, Luke, and it goes right on top of the other yellow shot stone. So chance here now for Team Switzerland to lie 2. Again, trying to get this one buried.
Chance to play this come round. Tirinzoni top among the thirds right now. 2 88% games, 1 90% game so far.
We've talked a lot about the ice conditions here, and the ice has been incredible thus far. It's curling, 4 to 5 feet, sometimes even more, and it's running about 14.5 to the tee line, with really no sweeping, and it gets a little bit quicker as the game goes on.
And facing to that one in behind, maybe just on the backside of the tee line. An aggressive call early in this game.
Very aggressive.
Do you feel maybe you have to take those chances against a team like Switzerland?
I think you do. I'm not sure you need to in the first end. I think Turkey could decide to hit the open one and roll in and be shot rock, and you never know if you get maybe a half shot out of Switzerland. You might force them to 2 if you, again, this is a situation where this has to be perfect. I think as the underdog, so to speak, coming in, you don't really want to give any more than 2 in the first end. So this is a very, very difficult shot here.
6-6 record last year. Dilshat Yildiz.
Hızlı kaçırma çok iyi.
You know they've saw the line on Team Swiss and they know the weight. They've thrown it here a number of times and just have to lock it on here. That's pretty close, Luke.
That's right in the area where they want, just a hair shy. It's shot stone.
That was so close to being perfect.
A well-managed stone, because you're heavy, you bounce off. It's a hit to lie 3.
Had great tolerance on that shot. So it looks like Alina Petz can't see it all. So she's, I believe, electing to play the run back right now, and yellow onto red. That shows what a great shot that was by Dilshat Yildiz.
And that little bit of separation, so there is room. They can potentially stick this one, but more importantly, they want to get rid of that red stone.
Exactly.
34 years of age, 6 world titles, 4 straight. They'll end up missing that run back for that change on the sweep call to get off, so they would roll over, open that one up a bit.
Aynen. Yani bundan vurup buna denemek isterse zaten bu çıkıyor. Sıkıntı yok. Şurası iyi. Çizgim. Az önce yani Berfin'in burada kalanların hepsi şöyleydi. Kanka o yüzden yani normalde de çizgiye böyle göstereceğim ama şu iyi.
Tamam.
Tamam.
Bak çizgisi farklı gelecek.
Ona göre.
Attığın hızda atabilirsin.
93'te o.
Tamam. Aynı hızda atabilirsin.
So I'm seeing 2 options. They can draw around the corner, or sorry, just off center guard, really. Maybe top 4. They can't be any deeper than top 4. You don't want to set up a double on the 2 red stones, or you can just draw to open side, lie 2 that way, and force Switzerland to take their 1. I don't mind this call at all. This is again a little bit more aggressive call. And you half tuck that under even. Top 8, just as long as your second shot. She just threw a great draw on her first one.
Yap. Yap, kesmesin o.
Needs to be in the 8-foot. Needs to lie 2 after this one.
We are going hard from pillar to post here, trying to get it all the way in. It's got to be, as you say, Luke's second shot.
Look at this one curl right in
What
behind that
a
guard.
terrific shot.
Did it come out a little bit the other side?
It did a little bit. I don't think there's much there. That was a brilliant shot. What a great way to start for Turkey. Team Switzerland had a quick look at it, but really, I don't think it's worth taking the chance. Just a draw for 1 here to score their single with the hammer.
On the aggressive play by Turkey pays off. You're forcing Switzerland to draw for 1. We'll see, it looked like 2 was in order.
Şeyle, hızla.
So piece of the 4-foot. Alina Petz and Switzerland to get on the board first here in this first end of play. The time will give you an indication where they're at, about 14 and a half.
You can hear them saying the line's not great right now, but the weight, it looks perfect. Just need pretty much half in the 4 here.
No problem, so it gets to the 4-foot, just well played. Get a single point in the first end and an early 1-0 Switzerland lead over Turkey.
Böyle zor atmaları lazım yani. Böyle zor atmaları lazım ki. Aynen.
Şimdi oynayabiliriz. Yani çok şey yapma yani oyun biraz karıştığı zaman yine sen de aklımızda öyle defansif olarak
Yani şu an
var.
ikinci ent ya.
Hı hı.
Taşları güzel olmasa konuları alayım istersen.
Biz şu anda istersen başlama. Kötü de olsa üstünde devam et. Yani bu rakiple bence içeride oynamak daha iyi şu an.
Tamam.
Eğer farklı yani böyle şeyiniz varsa ben konuşalım. Sıkıntı değil ama bence içeride de olsa olur.
Nerede ki? Sadece
Zwei, drei.
An early score by Switzerland of a single point. Turkey now gets the hammer as we play the second end. Luke Coley along with Melissa Saligo. An aggressive play by Turkey. Knowing you're going to have to play well, made some great shots in that first end.
Definitely. That's going to give them lots of confidence, I would think, for Turkey going in, you know, making some calls that are very difficult in the first end, never mind, you know, the rest of the game. But there was a chance you make one tiny mistake, you could give up 3, but they played so great and made some wonderful shots. And Alina Petz on her last, no mistake, has to get into the forfeit for her single and does just that.
Centerline guard can't afford to touch it, move it off. They'll get around that one. Berfin Şengol able to get right into a nice spot behind that centerline guard.
What a great start to the game. So Carol looking to probably corner freeze this red stone. This is all about communication. You want to make sure that you let the person in the rings know what the weight is, so there's no, that tick and bounce off is such a disappointing result when you're throwing their shot. So that is perfect for Carol.
A good sweep there, Alina Petz. Part of that combination that just, they work. She's such a strong sweeper as well and throws those last stones for this team.
Freeze attempt. Brusher's indicating this one might have a little extra weight. So do they go plan B here and try and get it around both of those stones? Oh, what a great call. Tremendous.
Çok eline bakmayın. Ben de fark ediyorum
Able to go
reaksiyonlarınızda.
make the audible, the change of plans, go around. Not sure if their second shot, it's close.
Selena now looking for just a soft hit weight here. Remove the red shot stone and try and roll her shooter to the wing. Get it to a position where she doesn't set up a double.
Well, ends up pushing it out. Doesn't roll off maybe as much as they had hoped.
Not bad though. Not sure you can make the double and keep your shooter.
Şafak attığımız taşın evde kalması lazım böyle.
Kalın olsa yeter Şafak.
Depending on the weight choice, I would think,
Dokuz.
Luke.
Yeah, I'd love to be able to keep it around, especially with the earth stone in the back of the 8-foot.
Oo.
You saw her release there. She put that one out just at the end.
Yap Özgür yap. Sen de Özgür. Sert. Bırakmadan
Nose
devam
isn't
et,
bad
yap.
either.
Clips that one, doesn't remove it, leaves it on the side of the 4-foot.
Çizgiydi güzel.
Just watch this release. She's right on line as she slides out. But again, we talked about that straight handle and then just the flick at the end, and you can see it went right off line at the very beginning there. They managed to get it back enough to move both yellows.
Is that they're trying to make sure you see a lot of the extension just because you're on arena ice and how much swing there is?
Exactly, you're trying to add the extra spin, but sometimes with that extra spin, when the handle starts straight and you try and outward motion it, it's the outward motion to create the spin, but not literally a lateral move. And when you get that lateral move, it's tough.
Couple of reds in the rings, they're second and third.
So you can see the difference here, starting on a clock position, starting at a 10 or 2 position and just letting go at 12. It's a very consistent release.
Try to hit and stick to lie too. It just rolls a little far. Melissa, here, look at these releases.
Yeah, so this is the difference. This is how we typically, I would say, coach or teach curling. You start at that 10 o'clock or 2 o'clock position, and you're only rotating to 12 o'clock. And how you create the momentum of the spin is the faster you rotate it, the more spin you're going to have. And the slower you rotate, obviously, the less spin. So it's obviously a matter of preference and how you've been taught. Both are good, but it's all about consistency. Nose hit here to lie 2.
Just a little roll in, that one rolling too far. Stays on the side of the 4-foot. Is there an angle for the double?
I think so. There was really no hesitation here for Switzerland. Savannah put the broom down immediately. Pretty straightforward double, I would think.
Yep. Fish got it. Kom Hebne.
Picked it up right out of her hand here.
Rolls over and will just sit in front. Bounces off it, real close to the double, but again, make that change in the line call in order to stay in play. Stay in front.
Top 8.
Smart call here. You can always go for that yellow stone, but no point because you're not shot stone. It's not shot stone.
Turkey bench, Bilal Omar Chakash.
So looking for the draw.
See a lot of growth from on both the men and women's side for Turkey and their curling federation. Men making it last year. Didn't qualify this season, but again, 3 straight seasons for the women at the World Championship.
Çok ileri gelmesin. Yap Berfin. Çizgi için. Yap. Çok iyi. Yap. Hız sizde. Hız sizde.
The Olympic Winter Games qualifying, obviously those are big steps to take to try and get your country there, and then obviously you put Olympics beside it, and more funding as well.
Süpersin. Süper.
Pierre Schret, the Swiss side,
Maar ik vind daar hinten zo na, omdat je rollen niet slecht.
coaching this team
Ja, ik ga nog niks
a
zeggen.
number of years now and trying to hopefully find that right recipe for Olympic success.
Ik ben niet van het spelen, word ik achter de nu niet. Oké? Beides gut. Ja.
They discuss, let's see, Denmark and Scotland, no scores, they play the second end.
And it does look like Denmark is line one. They tried to draw around top four. It went a little bit deep here, so Team Scotland does have some backing. This is a straight draw, pretty much to the button or to that back redstone for a single point.
Rebecca Morrison for Scotland and a 1-2 record.
This needs to curl. Needs to curl.
Gotta get a piece of the button.
Just a little bit heavy.
That's been the struggles in the early going for Scotland. So a steal of one by Denmark. Madeline Dupont leading 1-0 after 2 ends in that game. Try to make this short run. Just kicks that yellow a little too far, so still shot stone for Turkey.
Öznur aynısı. Aynısı. Aynı çizgi aynı.
Tamam, ben attım ya.
What an opportunity here now for Turkey.
Yön mükemmel.
Pretty much
Kızlar geride olabilir, öne
repeat of the
gelmesin.
previous shot. If she can get this one, even just top 8 is fine as well.
Yavaşla Şafak.
Line is way more important here because you don't want to set up a double with those other 3 Switzerland stones line in the rings. This one needs a bit of both though. Trying to get it.
Get 8 foot out of it.
Tamam tamam.
Real good effort, but I think it's just shy of second shot.
Hiç sorun yok kanka. Geriye gelmesin. Bu çok iyi.
Whether they're second or not, I think this is the play that Switzerland was going after.
I think so too. There's not really anything on their Yellowstone on the left-hand side as we look at it. So Pets is probably going to play the run, probably the run double, I'm guessing, is what they're looking for. Alina Pets threw that run in the first end, was unable to be successful, so she's looking to hit this one right on the nose, or just maybe a little bit on the broom side, a little high side.
Missed a run back in the first end. Another one now in the second.
This one is close.
Make contact in the rings and will touch
Wow.
it. And it is Turkey lying 2 now.
There's a look at it again. I feel like she was just a little bit tight. She called the sweep right out of her hand. And unfortunately for Switzerland, it goes right by. Does tick it in now for second shot. So now Turkey lying first and second.
Zaten buradan da double yapacak kanka. Öznur.
Oradan da double yapacak.
Zaten double'ı
aynen.
kesin yapacak yani. İçin oynayalım.
Tamam, 3'ü atıyoruz, kesin
Aynen.
sayı olsun.
Şurası iyi.
Tamam. Az önce köşeye
Silah.
nasıl attıysan aynı hızda atabilirsin
Tamam ben de
köşeye.
o merak etme.
Quite a situation here. Do you want to draw on lie 3 when you know the double's pretty straightforward, I would say, for Switzerland on those 2 red stones that we see there? Do you ever throw up
Line olmasa zaten
a
o kız
guard,
oraya
but
double yapacak. Biz
it has to be
alacağız
perfect,
yani.
otherwise-
And which one do you guard?
and which one do you guard? You'd almost, yeah, you'd have to be half and half.
Hız.
So I don't mind this call. Your goal here, your end goal here is to get 2. So if you can put this on the 8 foot on the right-hand side of the sheet,
T-line.
about T-line, what you have to think if you're Team Turkey, though, you got to put it in a position that there's no triple. You have to give total respect to Switzerland and the ability to make those big shots.
Çizgisi güzel.
Berfin'le.
I think T-line or just a little above T-line would be perfect.
Sen Berfin.
Bizde.
Guess number 1 goal is its 3rd shot.
Sen Berfin. Çok iyi kızım devam et.
Yön çok
Çok iyi
I wouldn't take
mükemmel
this too
dönmesin.
deep, though. I wouldn't take this too deep.
Yok yok.
See it
Hayır.
curling away as it's
Süper.
just continuing to slide. It will
Önemli olan
be
şunları geçmesi.
to lie 3.
Tamam sen yapmadan bak onu geçiyor.
No triple.
Güzel.
They'll look at the angles. We'll see what's going on. Sweden scoring 2 in the first. They look like they lie 3 against New Zealand.
Shot here for New Zealand, not an easy shot. But they do have the entire forefoot to draw to.
Jessica Smith in New Zealand sporting the pink uniforms in support of breast cancer awareness and all cancers. Jessica, a cancer survivor herself, battled with it just before last year's Worlds.
Oh, there go the brushers trying to drag this in. Need full 8 foot.
Great sweep to get it that far, but it's still a steal of 2 and a 4-0 Sweden lead over New Zealand. Meanwhile, another mistake from Alina Petz.
What a turn of events here. This is, they were trying for the double, but this is with the miss. This is a draw for 3 for Team Turkey. Potential 3 to score against the reigning world champions. I think they'd be pretty happy with that.
Well, in the first end, it looked like 2 was set up most of the end for Switzerland, forced to take 1. And you make a couple of great shots. You get 2 misses in one end from Alina Petz very often.
Not at all.
So this a chance at 3. Dilshat Yildiz.
So a big breath here, and this is all about giving it to your brushers. Just looking for T-line weight, about 14.5, I would think.
Hızlı söyle.
This looks pretty darn close, Luke.
He's taking the curl, comes
Wow.
in, and there is
What a shot.
a 3 score by Turkey to lead the 4-time reigning world champions. 3-1 game now after 2 ends of play here in Sydney, Canada.
Maşallah. Tamam. Şimdi top 4, onlar yine konu alacak. Daha sonra güzel 3 alacağız. Yakın 3. Ama çizgilerimiz var.
Ja. Spiering is recht is curling.
Ja.
Deze is 0 curling. Ja. 0. Ja. Oeverklaap vliegen voor Mines is recht curling. Ja.
Yön mükemmel. Yön mükemmel önde. Öznur'a gel yavaşla dönebilir. Dönsün Öznur, dönsün.
It's an early 3-1 lead, Turkey over Switzerland for the BKT Tires World Women's Curling Championship 2024. We're in Center 200, Sydney, Canada, out on the East Coast. Luke Ole along with Melissa Saligo. Perfect start for Turkey. 8 ends to go. You got to keep that going. You've got some mistakes from Switzerland, but more importantly, you've played your game, your aggressive style, and put the pressure on your opponent.
And I'm very sure they had that conversation before coming into this game, is what does Turkey need to do to beat the reigning world champions? And it's trying to put continuous pressure, and that's exactly what they've done. They've just put, we've had to see some runbacks that Switzerland just were unable to make, which we usually would see them make. So just a terrific start here for Team Turkey.
So that one in the top of the 12-foot, Melissa early on, we've mentioned the the win streak, the 38-game win streak for Switzerland coming in. Turkey is not a team that you thought might take them off. Their last loss being in 2021 against Sweden and Anna Hasselborg. They went on to win that Worlds. Last two unbeaten.
Wouldn't that be a story?
Well, that's exactly, I'm sure Turkey has said, come in. Why don't we end it? Why not us?
Exactly.
They've never, Lena Pet's never lost to Turkey in international competition.
Pretty good shot there by Berfin Sigel. It was a little bit heavy. Would have liked to just tap that maybe to back 4, back 8. But Team Switzerland completely ignoring those 2 red stones, really trying to utilize their corner guard. Carol having an outstanding game so far in the first couple of ends. And the streak continues there. What a nice, great shot.
Yeah, got it set up in the first end. It was an aggressive call by Turkey, and they made their shots late in the first that forced Switzerland to take one.
Trying the freeze here. Tolerance on this shot is on the lighter side. If you don't have the perfect line, you want to be a foot or 2 in front of the yellow stone, not behind, so you have an opportunity to use it. This looks like it has a lot of weight on it. They went for line early. Luke, this looks outstanding.
Again, just managing the stones. It took first couple games, they looked a little bit off with a lot of swing in the ice. Not something that they see as much, so get into the arena surface.
Definitely been able to make some great adjustments there as we're seeing lots of rotation, which is helping. So chance here now for Selena. It looks like maybe just a backline weight might be able to actually hit the red stone, punch the red stone back, and roll a little bit towards her yellow stone. Could be sitting 2 behind cover here in a minute. Is she by the guard?
Will crash on the corner, trying to get it in, at least something that Turkey has to deal with. And the draw was good enough to force a mistake out of Switzerland.
Turkey has done a great job thus far of managing their stones, throwing that nice soft weight. So again, this one just control weight. Hit 3/4, 7/8, and try and roll behind your own red stone.
Well, hit, rolls just in behind, will lie 2.
Brilliant shot. We'll be very happy with that result. So now Switzerland playing the hit and roll themselves, trying to roll in front of the red stone. They can't really play a double there. It would jam. So just trying to hit and roll their own stone in front of the red shot stone. For someone who throws last rock, she's an incredible sweeper as well. Look at that. Start to finish, just pounding this rock.
Gotta get past the top one, and they'll do just that. Hit and roll over. And we'll get shot stone.
She's almost got majority of her body weight on that broom head. Luke, look at that.
And in that position where she'll actually be on both sides, depending on who's throwing in the lineup, she'll sweep on the left side of the stone,
Wow.
right side, both with a slider as well, so the balance and trying to do that. will have a couple of stones to catch her breath before she throws a few.
Incredible. So again, Turkey looking for a nose hit here, maybe a slight roll. Trying not to group their stones if possible. Number one job here is remove that. Well done there. And I still don't think there's a really good double at all for Switzerland. Sitting 2 at the moment.
Ja. Ich glaube nicht, dass der noch ins Spiel kommt. So. Weil das bringt nicht viel. Geht sie da rundherum? Denkst du? Ja, sie sieht die einfach auch. Also. Kannst schon, ich glaube, es ist entweder der. Ich glaube, wenn wir da nass können, dann ist er nicht schlecht. Aber jetzt der ist ganz schlecht. Also ich finde, du musst wenn dann wicken, oder? Also ich glaube, sobald du nass ist noch gut, sobald du ein bisschen reinwickst, glaube ich, geht er raus. Ja, okay, aber dann ist auch nicht mega schlimm, oder? Entweder oder. Also ich finde entweder wicken.
Well, let's look in and see what's going on. Denmark against Scotland. An early steal by the Danes have them a 1-0 edge over Scotland.
This looks like it could be a double here for 2 points, assuming that that left yellow stone is out, counting the one at the back, the red stone at the back. Or she might just... Oh, actually she's just playing the nose hit, so nose hit for maybe 1, which means that red stone must be third shot. And there you go.
So knows the single to tie that game up. It's been a frustrating start to this championship for Rebecca Morrison. A lot of things haven't gone the Scots' way early in this one. So Melissa, long discussion. They were looking at maybe hit and roll off that far right red. Try and roll behind the corner. Looks like that's what she's playing.
I think so, and yeah, they were trying to figure out the best way to manufacture a multiple point end here with Turkey sitting 2 at the moment. But if you ever hit that one and roll under, Turkey really can't access it, I don't think.
Trying to carve this one over, and will hit and sit right there, but no roll. A chance to make the double.
Again, the brushing just trying so hard to get that one to curl. Outstanding sweeping team here by Switzerland. So you just have to be careful, I think, if you're Turkey. You could hit this one right on the nose. You could try the double, but you have to be careful that the yellow doesn't jam on the red stone at the back. You could also just nose and roll under yourself a little bit.
Wasner Palat.
That one rolled right off her fingertips there, so I could see it's going to curl a lot.
Punch it through the hole, and
wow.
Just that, they get a
They
good
held
result.
that. Oh my goodness. Watch this, Luke. Just as she's letting it go, instead of finishing the turn, it just actually rolls off her fingers, and you can see it over-rotated right off the get-go, and she called before she almost let it go. But outstanding brushing, holds it right there.
Doesn't make that double, but that's
no, that
just
and that's
well.
fine. Absolutely. Now, does Switzerland have a double on the 2 reds? I don't know if they do.
Kommst du mal gleich schnell, oder? Machst du es halt? Nein, gleich schnell. So.
We're just playing the hit and roll, maybe on shot stone. There you go.
Yep, good. Yep, Tanner hold the other.
Ja.
Good.
Weniger.
The double is there, I think, on the 2 red stones, but you'd probably leave a double back for Czechia. So smart call here, trying to hit and roll away towards the other side of center.
try to get this to the other side of the center line, roll behind that top stone.
Kay.
Just get in a spot where does Nose get second
İçten geliyor
shot.
kontrol.
I think you might have to roll
Orayla alakası yok.
a
Aynen.
tiny bit. If you're Turkey, you want to be line 2 after this.
Sen de kontrol.
So better to be safe than sorry. So just rolling maybe a couple of inches towards your own red stone there, your red guard. Also changes the placement of that rock as well.
A look at all the scores here. Just 3 games out on the ice, 3-1 in our feature matchup. Sweden 4-0 over New Zealand. New Zealand still with the hammer in the third. A 1-1 game. Denmark have the hammer for the first time in that game in the fourth. Got the steal, and then the single by Scotland.
Yep.
Switzerland with the hammer here in our game.
This one's curling as well. They might not get the roll. Oh, wow, just
That little bit of a roll towards the center to hold it and lie 2. But is there a double?
Çok iyi, güzel.
Ik vind het niet goed.
I think the double is there.
Kom eens in het shot und second.
Goed, een drietal.
Ja.
It looks like it will miss the yellow jam.
Moet je niet horen snel spelen?
About half a stone, I would think.
Nee. Also gast.
Laat me mum vast.
Ja. Goed.
Een 18.
Ja, ja.
Lena Petz, you don't see her miss many shots and missed both last end. 3 hits, 33%,
Very unusual.
50% on the game. Make this one, you're in business to try and get 2 right back.
Again, picked it up right out of her hand here, trying to hold it for the double.
Well, there's one and over the top. Does not make that double. Rolls out.
Şöyle. Ya çok bu nasıl da olur? Buradan matına çıkıyor. Fatih şeyinde. Aynen. Yok buradan tabii ki de.
It's if you were
Çok açık, ben nasıl gelirim?
played the big weight and right out of
Hani
hand,
burada da olur, sorun yok.
try and hold it.
Yeah, and ice that curls so much too, Luke. You know, once it starts curling, it's really, really hard to keep it straight, and it's even harder when it's up weight. You know, it's easy to manage stones when you're throwing that board weight or less, but the high, hard ones, the peels, the normals, very difficult to really manipulate at all with the sweeping. So great opportunity here now for Turkey to try and draw in and lie 2. Again, this is about the placement of this stone. So top 8, even biting top 4 at the most, I would say. Although Petz has missed a couple of runbacks and a couple of doubles, you don't want to give her any more opportunities. You know one of these times she'll make it.
Kontrol sizde kızlar.
Kesmesi yap.
Yap. Şafak.
Yeah, even though sitting well, Turkey needs to continue to execute their shots.
Yeah, they never
Çok iyi
need to be
kızlar,
very,
çok
very
iyi.
precise.
Paralel. Paralel, evet, hız sizde. Paralel yap. Yup. Yup.
So I would stop there. I wouldn't, again, don't want to bring it in too far.
Güzel.
Bravo.
That's pretty darn good.
There's a little panic. They were worried about
They
leaving
were
a double.
indeed.
Je zegt dat is hek. Bord. Ja.
Just terrific execution right now by Turkey. So a hit and stick here for Alina Petz to get her single point for Team Switzerland.
Well, another opportunity for Switzerland to score, but just for the 1.
Wordt die langie? Is 11.
It's the hit and stick in the 8-foot.
11. Ja. Is snel.
Wow. Daar. Daar. Wow.
Sounds like she's very close.
En een stij.
Schön.
Just a terrific shot there.
It's a clean at the end to sit in the 4-foot, and Switzerland get 1. They cut into the Turkey lead. It's 3-2, but Turkey gets the hammer heading to the 4th end.
bence şu an modumuz iyi.
Hani
Ya onlar bize
şey
karşı
yapıyorsa
açık
yani
oynamaz. Öndeyken de
zaten
oynamıyorlar.
şeydeyim zaten guard'da oynayacağız. Zaten arkası oynayacağız ama dediğim gibi akıyorsa bizim pozisyonlarımız güzelse devam etme noktasına ama guard'ları
Zaten
açmaya
bizim
da
ilk taşlarımız hep
guard'ları
team'in önüne
açmaya da
geldi
geç
ama onlar
kalmayalım.
hata yapıyor.
Hı hı.
Yani hata yapan şu an onlar. Biz daha üstün oynuyoruz.
Son oyuncuları aşırı stresli şu anda. Yani biraz daha devam edersek bu bizim için
Aynen.
daha güzel olacak sonlara doğru.
Güzel kızlar.
Kızlar.
Hiç bozma. Çok iyi mod.
Elinize
Elinize
sağlık.
sağlık. Çok.
Ja. Wat? 2, 3, gelijk knap. Neem even voor linie snel. Linie. Breng je out. Ja. Linie is goed. Maar tegen. Ja, wat die.
Well, a 3-2 lead. But Turkey is the one out in front, coming in. Big favorites in the game, big favorites in the championship are the Swiss. Turkey, though, right up there, as it is a 3-2 lead. They scored 3 the last time they had the hammer. They do again now.
Özgür top 8. Yön mükemmel top 8.
Guard color, guard.
Özgür'la gel evet Özgür'la gel dönmesin.
Sweden has a 4-0 lead on Sheet B over New Zealand. And what does Jessica Smith and New Zealand have now?
It looks like it's a draw against 2.
Baba Özgür.
Pretty wide open, though. She just needs to hit 8 foot.
Could be anywhere in here.
She's got lots of room. Outcount those 2 stones, those 2 yellow stones, but they are sweeping this hard. I'm not sure it's even going to make the rings. Oh, no.
Not really a threatening steal setup, but that draw comes up short again. 6-0, Sweden leading. Team coming in at 0-3. Sweden, the team, you don't want to give any life. If you have a chance to give them a 4th loss, you want to give that to them. So we'll see tournament numbers here in the 4th end. Carol Hovald in the 90s, as we have become accustomed to seeing.
Berfin önüne.
So the draw comes up late for Turkey on their first stone. They were trying to draw around that center guard. But then Carol on her second stone actually comes behind the tee line. So a bit of an opening here now for Berfin Sengel to freeze to
Yön
it.
mükemmel.
Even a little tap.
81% for at the lead spot, and those will be lower numbers. That's where you set things up, makes things harder on the rest of your team when you're not getting that high execution early in the ends.
Özgür yap dönmesin, yap dönmesin, yap dönmesin. Sert dönmesin, diğer taraftan çıkacak, yap.
Mind you, I never had a problem getting 80% at school. I thought that was pretty good.
Nice shot there. Actually over-girled by a whole rock. Would have liked that one probably top button, top 4.
Selena Vishonke, 80%.
Midget.
Wants to right down to it.
Yeah, down to the red one. They would like to corner freeze the red stone and maybe have a chance to do something with it later.
Komt op, hè? Oh, lang niet. Gaat. Zich gelegen.
In
Managing this one the entire way here.
Alina moet snel.
Line looks perfect.
Kom snel, dan ska.
And that's just a bang-on shot right there. Terrific shot.
I'm not liking it in the 4-foot. Again,
Great call.
seeing such growth, Dilshat Yildiz, just not just in the shot making, but the
Zaten
game
yakınlar
plan, the
birbirlerine.
game calling.
Kalın koşadan vurdum mu hepsi gidiyor.
Yeah, it's so easy and tempted just to keep following those rocks down to the forefoot. But there's only 2 problem stones right now in this end, and those are the 2 out front.
Ilfayet Shafak Shalikashu in the 70% margins. Wants to open the front.
Süper.
Maybe even spin that one, but it looks like it'll spin all the way through. That will get out, so 3 in the rings. 3-2 game.
Dem habe ich jetzt wirklich viel gegeben.
Okay, ja, normal glaube ich 25, 30.
What a great shot there. So chance now for Switzerland to put up a nice center guard here. Rock's in a good position at the moment.
Wir müssen, da ist nur 2.
Linie wäre gut.
Trying to get this one to finish, so it's blocking that stone on the center.
Şafak backford. Bu burada kalsın.
So you throw the peel on the previous one, and even though that guard's not perfect, Luke, you could throw maybe normalish weight and try and get the yellow stone that's on the button, and if you happen to hit the guard, that's a great result as well. They feel like they can see enough here for Turkey to throw kind of a back 8, back 12 weight to get to the face of the Yellowstone and pop it back and pop one of the yellows out, but I'm not sure you can do enough with it other than to try and keep your stone in front of the Yellowstone, which is a good angle for yourself. And exactly what they called.
Not much of a scoring area right now, but
No.
you have control in front right now with that red stone.
And if you look at it, even if you would have thrown maybe a couple of extra feet and try and get that second yellow out of the forefoot just so you have more space. This is my thought, is Switzerland now, with that steel point in place, they're going to just throw up another guard. You won't really have access now to those rocks on the button. So Czechia might have to change their tactic here after this guard is thrown by Silvana Tirazzoni.
They probably want this a little bit longer.
T-line.
I would think so. I thought I heard them say are they coming deep?
We just top 12-foot, choke it off that way. Denmark, Scotland, 4th end of a 1-1 game. Looks like it is. Denmark 1, possibly 2.
Yeah, right on the T line on the half button here. We'll score another one for Denmark. It looks, yeah, it's hard to say whether they're 1 or 2, Luke. But this is a chance for a multiple point end regardless for Scotland, or for Denmark, pardon me. Wow, what a shot.
Madeline Dupont got away in a scary end to a game yesterday against Japan. It's 2 for sure.
I think it might be 3.
I'll move these two in, right?
Yeah.
So we'll move those out. They'll take a look. I'm guessing we'll probably see a measure. And it is 3. They'll give them 3 after the look overhead. So a 4-1 lead for Denmark over Scotland.
Also der beide zumacht. Ja. Ja, ich glaube, wir müssen. Ja. Ich finde, man keine andere Wahl. Ja.
Turkey able, they do get rid of that back
Jetzt
one
läuft es vielleicht schon ein bisschen besser da, der zweite.
in behind of the forefoot, but it's still shot stone, that Swiss stone back button. And the 3 goes up on the scoreboard. Denmark leading 4-1. That game, of course, Madeline Dupont, her 15th World Championship.
Okay, now.
88% so far for Silvana. Just trying to throw another guard in between those two stones out front. They almost gave Turkey an out on their last one here, so they don't, I wouldn't think, want to bring this one too tight. Finishes hard at the end there, and I actually think it's helped Switzerland. You can't run that one back. You can't run the other yellow one back.
If you could make this double peel, then Switzerland becomes guarding for their life. Osner Palat, 74% at the third position.
Trying the double peel. Needs to curl a little.
Get one and won't get the second. Still Switzerland lying one. Potential tying point is on the button right now.
The concern for Switzerland obviously is that red stone that's top 4. If any rock makes contact with it, the yellow shot stone would likely go.
Also, weißt, ich frage mich, ob wir den fast offen lassen. Ja. Aber wahrscheinlich nicht. Das Einzige, was wir machen können, ist probieren, da Cornerpiece zu spielen. Und sonst... Also finde ich, es gibt dann auch 2. Ja. Ich glaube, wir haben keine andere Wahl. Das Problem ist einfach, wenn sie den jetzt spielt... Nein, also dann macht sie nicht jetzt. Wenn sie den jetzt spielt und bringt sie immer mal. Von welcher Seite willst du? Ich hätte jetzt nochmal die kennen wir gerade. Ja, ist gut gelaufen jetzt.
Bis wo etwa da?
Besser vor das Haus.
Gut, ja.
Vor der Hand.
Mitte ist auch noch okay.
Mehr Centerline noch. Ja.
Aber dann kannst du fast Mitte ist auch noch okay. Gut, dann.
Ja. Was will sie direkt nehmen?
Gut, nein, sie
Just talking about where exactly to put this guard. I think if they split the center line, that would be pretty close to protecting everything.
Lena Pat's 79% on the tournament, those dropping because of some misses in this game early on. Try and get this to the center.
Şuna geldiği zaman o da oradan gider, o da oradan gider, tamam? Kanka vuracağı yer ortaya yakınsa.
Melissa, double peel, if you don't make it, looking to their last, is that red corner guard on the B able to run that one in, or is that one in the 12-foot blocking that path?
I actually think it's there, which makes me think on this first shot, do you ever just try and hit the one on the top 12 right now? That yellow guard is pretty high, the center line guard. So if you ever just play the one on the 12-foot,
roll onto the
and roll on, you might set yourself up for your last one, because that's the one that's causing the problem. It's not really the one that was just thrown by Team Switzerland. But double peel here is great as well.
Chat Yildiz won't make the double peel, just gets the one.
You can imagine Switzerland's going to have a look to see if that red stone, that red run on the angle's there. Yeah, I think it's there as well.
Also ich habe das Gefühl, wir müssen fast, oder? Der ist nicht verdammt schwierig. Ja. Also weißt du, ich kann sogar noch in unserem oben ankommen. Wie lange? 10 oder? 10,5. Wie als würden wir normale Hit and Roll spielen, glaube ich.
Switzerland acknowledges that it is there, so they're going to peel that red guard.
So können wir beides abdecken.
And try and roll.
And try and roll to the center.
Ja, sieht gut aus, bis auf Center, ja.
And not all teams would play this. They'd basically leave that, put the guard out, take away the easier of the two options.
The other way to take that run away from Team Turkey is to actually bump your Yellowstone that's top 12. Just bump it a foot, 2 feet, whatever. And then it's not there. The hit and roll to the center is really difficult. A nice soft weight here.
There's the hit, and it'll roll and leave that one in the 12-foot open to play the run back.
Göbek.
Şöyle sen şöyle
Is
göster
there a way
bana.
you can make it and roll
Özür
the
sendeyiz,
shooter on?
bebeğim.
Tamam.
Or am I just trying to
I think
thinking
you're getting greedy. Luke, don't get greedy.
Öznur. Taşların biraz içine de vursa sorun yok.
Huge shot here for Turkey. If they could ever make this short run, yellow onto red onto yellow, and put another 2 on the board. She's throwing a lot of weight here, Luke. I would almost be tempted just to throw a more manageable weight.
Here we go, last stone of the fourth end. Chance for another multiple score. Gonna make contact with that red, run it back, and will stick
And
it.
does it.
And on the top of the rings.
Oh, you were
There
hoping.
for 3. It doesn't move that yellow far enough at the back.
Yes.
It did roll on,
Brilliant shot.
but they get their 2.
Look at the brushing. She was right get-go tight. Unbelievable brushing, and manages to make contact with that red stone onto yellow. Look at this.
Great sweep
And
to
you
hold
have
that.
to be happy with that.
Bozma hiç bozma.
So 2 on the board and a 5-2 lead. Turkey over Switzerland.
Evet ya. Çok iyiydi. 40 değil mi?
Yön mükemmel. Kızlar tam çizgiye. Yön mükemmel, hız sizde. Yavaşsa eğer Öznur. Öznur. Dönmesin Öznur, dönmesin Öznur. Evet dönmesin, yap yap yap.
Was a wild finish to the end of that fourth end, and it is Turkey patiently waited, and then they took the shot, get their 2, and they have a 3-point lead over the reigning world champions here in session 6. Nicole along with Melissa Saligo. There was a chance at 3. It was a very tough one. She did roll on, but they didn't hit the yellow far enough to get it out and bring it into play.
Very, very close, though, and you have to be extremely happy with putting 2 more on that scoreboard if you are Turkey, and just what a brilliant start to this game against the reigning world champs, as you say.
How important now is this fifth end without the hammer? 3-point lead, you've scored multiples with the hammer twice. To not allow Switzerland to sort of get some momentum into the fifth end break.
It's crucial. It's crucial, especially as you, the last end of this first half, pardon me. And if you can just force Team Switzerland to a single point, maybe even a blank is okay too. Because you want to have a chance to regroup now after and go into the last 5 really strong. So giving up 1's okay here, giving up 2's okay, but if you could ever just be a single or blank, I'd be very happy with that if I was Turkey.
Sert Şafak, sert, sert. Sert daha iyi. Biraz daha, biraz daha, biraz daha, biraz daha, biraz daha, biraz daha, biraz daha. Güzel Berfin.
Doesn't guard that one perfectly, but guards the corner.
Guards the right side, the correct side. So that's a situation where we were just talking about the strategy perhaps for Turkey for this end. If you bring that second stone into the rings and freeze to your own stone, then it doesn't allow, because of the angles aren't great, it doesn't allow, allows Switzerland to make a great play around those two staggards. And now it's a little bit more difficult for you to have to find a way to remove it. And no mistake here by Carol. Just a perfect shot there. I think I would consider playing a little bit more on the defensive, but they're in it now. They have to play this shot. Again, tolerance is maybe a little on the lighter side. Trying to get your rocks in front of your opposition stones.
Perfil. Freeze, Yoni. Yoni. Yön mükemmel ol. Öznur Yoni, Öznur Yoni.
Tamam hızını yapıyorum.
Ama vurup açılacak gibi.
Yok.
Hayır,
Line
hayır.
looks very good here.
Gel Öznur, şimdi. Bom. Mükemmelsin.
What a shot.
Aferin be, süpersin.
Gut, 4-1. Ja, finde ich gut. Ja. Ja. Bis 15 vom dritten, oder?
Ja, finde ich auch gut, ja.
Ja, 0-6.
Aber ich finde, lass
Hinten 4. Ja, hinten 4.
Geil, geil.
Ja, ja, fest, Görle. Komm, komm, komm, komm.
For Switzerland, keeping stones around right now, they love to play this style of game. They have no problem, an aggressive style, especially with the hammer.
Exactly, and that's what you have to be careful of. Switzerland is very, very good at getting lots of rocks in play, and then when the chance comes, they all of a sudden all their opposition stones are gone and they get a big end. So if you're Turkey, you just have to be aware of the end building as you play here. Just ensure that, again, just ensuring that your rocks are in front of your opposition stones, maybe locked on wherever you
Yön
can.
mükemmel.
It's getting very busy on that side of the sheet right now.
Aa,
Evet. Bu rahat gider Bekeyte.
bravo. Perfil. Sen Perfil dönsün.
This one's still on the corner guard, I think. Needs to curl.
Yap, yap, yap, yap, yap. Buraya çek. Al, al, al, al, al, al, al, al, al, al. Geri, geri, geri, geri, geri.
Just touches it, rolls off to the side. Still Switzerland lying 1. But they have that angle advantage, that red one onto the yellow.
Sie halten es immer so. Ja, ja. Okay, ja.
If you hit
Bin so auftun nicht
that
so gut,
red
aber
stone
sie
out
behalten
front,
so.
just a little on the right-hand side, I wonder if you could get all 3 of those red stones going.
Normal Ding ist nicht gut, wahrscheinlich Keyline.
Team Switzerland just having a bit of a discussion to see if that's possible.
Aus, einfach.
Wahrscheinlich bringt mich auch nicht über die Karte
Ich habe die Hoffnung mit dem nachher irgendwann, aber ja. Du könntest auch den stossen, tappen. Das finde ich nicht gut.
Ich finde, glaube den besser.
Das wäre mein allererster Gedanke gewesen, aber weißt du, auch wenn sie da drauf schießt, dass wir noch 2 hätten.
Gleiche Länge wie vorher.
Ja, sicher nicht länger.
Ja.
Weil
Also ich kann glaube ich ein bisschen rausnehmen. Am Touch, ja.
The debate here is on your second stone, do you ever peel knowing that you potentially are in a bit of trouble? But really, for Switzerland right now, they're sitting shot stone, they're sitting 3rd shot stone, but the angles are very good for Turkey. So they're going to play the same side, maybe try and jiggle things around a little bit,
Ist gut.
try and create some separation. This one doesn't have a ton of weight on it, trying to drag it in.
Trying to set up that angle, just taps a little bit, lines it up. Still tough for that red one to go anywhere.
Yeah, the red one's definitely not going anywhere, but for Turkey, you have to figure out where you're leaving your rock that you're throwing right now. You almost want to over curl it a bit so that you don't leave the same angle for Switzerland. So if you can ever get to the inside of that yellow stone, yellow, red, yellow, just pushing it back to maybe back 4. This is a way you can be shot rock, but it almost feels early to be shot with the way this end is being developed here.
Osner Palat played very well, really positioned things great.
Well, this one's over curling.
So that now opens it up a little bit. As the dust settles, trying to reassess and see where things sit.
Lena Petz for doing a very good job of outlining it for us. And so the key here for Switzerland is to ensure that Savannah Stone leaves it on the perfect angle on the yellow stone she's about to promote. She wants to push her shot stone quite far back out of the way. She wants it still to count though, not too far, but enough to get it out of the way for when they have a chance to play on those red ones on the next one. Just nose her a little high side.
Just pushes that one back, has that angle, unlocks that red, so there's room to get rid of it.
Yeah, they would have liked that to curl a little bit more.
The danger is those reds can be removed.
Bunu şöyle buraya iteceğiz.
Ama
Tamam.
şunun gidiş
Hızlı değil. Bek gibi ya. Şöyle yaptım, bunu buraya. Bu da buraya, bunun önüne geliyor. Anladın mı?
Anladım.
Bu da buraya.
Anladım.
Çok mantıklı
I
bu.
think if you're Turkey,
Yani bunu hem bu
you're
tarafa
playing on the
atacağız,
yellow
evet.
stone just thrown, or just tried to tap and throw it to the
Kanka, o zaman
inside
direkt şeye gidiyor şimdi.
of that
Kırmızıya,
one.
evet.
and push your red to the button.
Mola alabiliriz burada.
Bence de.
Gel sonra.
Tough shot here for
Bence-
sure.
Şöyle kanka, şöyle
Well, a mess in our game and a mess
Oh, wow.
for Denmark, having 3 in there, putting the pressure on Scotland. What does Rebecca Morrison have?
Anladın?
So Denmark currently line 3, and it looks like a long angle raise. You just have to squeak by that yellow guard just out front of the rings there and pretty much weld it onto that redstone, that side button. It's hard from our angle to see if it's there, but this is the only thing it looks like she has.
Bu da açılı kaldığı için bu bizim
And maybe throwing a little bit less weight here to try and help get the sweepers involved a little bit more. So even if she throws just a tappish weight, you gotta communicate.
sen kontrol gibi atacaksın.
Get
Oh, this is
past,
close.
make contact with the red, and it's gonna go
Oh,
by.
wow.
How far does it go by? 1, 2, and it's 2 on the board. 2 more.
Great attempt
Denmark.
there.
Was not faced with much whatsoever. Denmark 6-1 up on Scotland after 5. Turkey has called their
O
timeout.
zaman bundan buna vurmaması lazım. Bak şu kırmızıdan yok.
Yok canım ne?
Bence burayı hiç açmayalım.
Nasıl?
Burayı açmayalım. Sen
Orayı
burada mı?
açmayacağız. Hayır hayır. Şundan ona vurmaması lazım. Öyle kırmızı gidiyor. Bunun önüne oynayabiliriz bak. Gel bana doğru. Sarıdan vurduğu zaman dış at. Ona zaten takılıyor. Kırmızıdan vurmaması için, kırmızıdan vurmaması için orayı da kapatabiliriz. Ha? Orayı da... Hı hı. Ya zaten o kırmızıdan vurduğu zaman bizimki gidecek
Evet
şu
o
anda.
direkt çıkıyor.
Tamam,
3
o
tane
yüzden
kırmızı
şunu
kalıyor.
bak
Sarı
şu
kalıyor.
İşte
şimdi
ikisinin
önüne
arasında
gelebiliriz
kapatmamız için yani bunun görünme ihtimali çok yüksek.
Tamam, ona vurduğu zaman arkaya takılacak mı?
Şimdi guard attığımız zaman neye guard atacağız o önemli. İkisinden birinin görünmesi çok olağan.
Okey.
O yüzden.
Yani ara olabilir, ikisinin arası olabilir ama
Şurası.
hı hı, orası olabilir.
Tamam ama bu yine görünüyor.
En fazla, okey. Orası olabilir şu an.
Tamam. Sen bilirsin.
Bit of a scary
Bakın yine,
situation here, I
değerlendirin.
think, for Turkey.
Sen nasıl dersin?
Just so many options for Switzerland to get at it.
Tam guard. Şöyle açılı
I
atabiliriz.
really think if you play the same
Buna
tap,
vurduğu zaman aşağıya takılıyor ama ondan vurmak lazım. Onun önüne kapatırsak
yellow
gelmiyor.
onto red, and just
Ömer abi
push
diyor
your
ki direkt
red.
bundan sayı alalım yani. Buna
About a
vurma
foot or
ihtimalleri
two.
olmasın. Buraya guard aldığımız zaman da hani bundan bile vursa bu buna gidiyor açısı.
Ama
Yo dediği şey
Çok da-
mantıklı.
He mantıklı ama
Yani-
hızlı vurursa gitmeye
Yeah,
bilir.
that's the rock
Bence
I
gelin
think you
buraya
want to
atalım
hit.
da şeye girmeyelim. Karambole girmeyelim sonra
I don't know if a
konuşuruz.
guard's going to be enough for you to
Şöyle yakın. Şuraya.
take everything away here.
Aynen.
Well, this is still last to third stone, so there's still plenty to come, and a lot of movement can happen in the rings.
Yeah, it
It's
looks
the
like
center line one. You're trying to take away 2 options from Switzerland with just 1 right now.
so. One of the ways to defend against this is if you tap your red stone and even tap to the back yellow stone onto the face of that, it protects it.
So 3-point game in ours. The other 2 games, 6-1 scores. Big one right now. This 5th end.
Dönmesi lazım ama.
Knew it was going to be important. Didn't realize it'd become this pivotal within the game.
Dönmesi lazım, dönmesi lazım.
This one has to curl quite a bit at the end here.
Sert, sert, sert, sert.
Just playing
sert.
plan B now,
Oradan
playing
devam,
the tip.
oradan. Yap, yap, yap,
A
yap,
little
yap,
rub.
yap.
Do they take it away?
Çok hızlı bu.
Don't think it took away that red on the center line.
Anladım da yani guard için çok hızlı. Onu söylüyorum.
180'den dedim 4 çıkayım da.
Unfortunately for Turkey, I don't think that rock really helps them in any way.
Ja, also du kannst ihn schneller spielen, dass der sicher geht, weißt du? Liegen wir einfach nur mit
Switzerland
zwei,
now
oder?
has a chance to play the double on the 2 reds, maybe even the triple actually.
Ja, ist gut. Wie schnell? Was siehst du? 10. Ich hätte 9. 9. Gut. Gut. Halbe. Halbe.
Okay.
Throw that out turn.
Yeah,
Not only are they good to watch because they're so good at the game, this Swiss team, but Alina especially lets you know exactly what they're playing.
exactly. So a little low side here. I think all 3 reds could go.
Go, go. Go, go, Tia. Go. Tia. Tia. Tia.
Cross it a hair.
Tia.
Across the top, moves them, touches that top one.
Okay, ist gut.
It gets shot stone, but it didn't actually move that 1 red as far out of the forefoot.
I was expecting a little bit more weight, really. So and it did overcurl, I would say probably about half an inch.
Aynen.
Otherwise you would have saw more action on that red stone. Here's a good look at it. Red, yellow, red. And instead of going more deep, it went sideways and jammed.
Yeah, they thought they might just roll top 12 foot instead of across the rings. Now, is this a drawing down to that 1 back forefoot?
They are indeed. They can get access to it either way. It's just a preference on what turn you want to throw here. And I think it might be a little bit exposed on the other side, but they've seen this path pretty much the whole end.
Dönsün Berfin.
Dönmesi lazım. Geliyorsan Berfin'le gel. Devam et.
Evet çok iyi Berfin dönsün kırıldı.
Dönerek gelsin. Devam et. Devam et.
Goal number 1, get by that tight red guard, and a goal number 2, get it right on the forefoot. Trying to
Keep
get
this one
shot
moving.
rock.
Sen kızım yok. Yok. Yok.
Wow, brilliant.
Great shot. Dilshat Yildiz. It's been impressive here in this morning session. And using the sweepers, just knowing how far that you can drag the stone. Look at that one.
Yeah, the only thing that would have made that maybe a titch better is if it was right welded to that yellow stone so that this double isn't here for Switzerland. Now, how many reds will they lose when they throw this double? There's a chance that both will go.
7.5.
Wow. Tia. Wow. Tia.
So trying to go yellow onto the reds. This is the second
Oh,
one.
wow. Lost the yellow on the left there. They didn't expect that. So there's a chance here now for Turkey to lie 2.
But a must roll. All those yellows, they're in there now.
I think they hit it where they wanted to hit it. It just seemed to
Hayır hayır aşkım tamam.
just
Bak,
tick
dediğim gibi
their
vurup kaldığımız zaman buna
stone at the
double yapıyor ya.
back of the 4 out.
Aynen. Aynen,
Buna bu
aynen.
sefer bundan ince vurduğu zaman bu gidiyor.
Aynen, haklısın.
Sıkıntı yok dediğim yani ikinci planı düşün.
Aynen.
Switzerland lying
Ben de
1-3, 4,
Kontrol 35 gibi
5,
atacağım.
6.
Bak buna vurduğu zaman hiç sorun yok çünkü
This
buradan
roll
attığı
isn't
zaman
made or leaves a
Bak
double.
şöyle duruyor ya.
Ja, ik ga het zeggen. Het gewicht etmiş çok.
Yani duru yeri de yok. Anladın mı? Senin A planın kanka vurup kalmak olsun. İkinci plan dönerse kaydır. Tamam?
This is such a difficult shot. It's not about it being an open hit, like you say, Luke. It's about where can you roll so that you don't leave a
Ve
double.
A planı önce vurup kalıyoruz. Çok
Likely
vurup
could
kalkarsak
roll
mükemmel.
either way.
Çünkü niye buna
There's
double
room.
yapmak isteyince gidiyor sarıya.
But you can't even show them a piece on the right-hand side as we look at it because the double would be there.
Is the roll to the left on your picture? Maybe
I think it
No
might
more
be
room for errors?
better. And even if it's exposed, if they play the double, it would likely jam on the two yellows. So I would be tempted to roll that way towards my own stone.
5-2 Turkey lead over Switzerland in this one. Fifth end, Switzerland with the hammer.
Gotta make contact here.
Get by, there's the hit and the roll. How far does it go? It stops and it's gonna be third shot.
I think so.
There is a tap available
So
for two.
close to being perfect. So great chance here now. This is what Switzerland's been working for.
Immer noch aanleggen.
You see, they tried to hold it up,
He's in second.
but they didn't get by that center guard by much.
Back left.
So Switzerland now has this chance. Just a light tap, only has to move it a couple of inches, and they can get two right back here.
It's a game of millimeters. That one stops a millimeter sooner. And this wouldn't be there for two, it'd be for one.
Exactly.
Ja, op is mij gewoon niet.
So huge shot here now for the Swiss team. Would love to get 2 points right back. Feel a bit better about the first half of this game.
Get it a 1 point game. Alina Pet's last shot of the fifth. Just broom down, keeping it clean, and no problem. A world champ. They're back in it within one, heading to the fifth end break. That's a crucial two heading into this break, and we'll see how the second half plays out. Turkey has the lead and the hammer.
Ik ga je toch.
Dediğiniz yere de en son konuştuğumuz gibi. Yani. İyi olsun. Kızlar bu maçı oynadığınız için kendinizle gurur duyun. Devam ettirin. Başlayan seri güzel devam ediyor. Bak şu anda bizim için
6. en çok
çok
güzel
önemliydi.
senaryo. 2
Çok
aldık mı?
Ve aynen 6-8-10. Bir tane ikimiz çalmayla malmayla uğraşmayacağız. Sadece rakibe verirsek biz o zaman kolay oyun oynayacağız. Biz içeride oynayacağız. Bu biraz daha Berfin biraz daha seninle olay, tamam mı? Hadi kızım. Herkes en güzelini yapıyor, elinden geleni yapıyor. Gayet güzel. Dünden başlayan bir seri bugün de devam ediyor. Bu bizim için çok önemliydi. Bundan sonra da emin olun ki sıraya
I think
edecek.
maybe it was a little heavy, or you know what I mean. So if we make sure,
I think we have to listen, yeah.
yeah, and if and maybe say it twice, heavy, or lift the broom or something, you know, because a lot of people here.
Up there, yes.
Good. Now it's good. They played a fantastic first half. We're just one down. A fourth here is good. Then we get a deuce, tie the game up.
Ja, good. Ja.
Okay. Cool.
Awesome.
Go.
Let's go. Mr. Clear ook met de team. Let's go.
Ja.
Yeah.
Met de, wat is het hier ooit moet het? Allee.
Well, third end, Turkey against Switzerland, and the pressure on all end by Turkey. They lie to Switzerland, forced to play for a single. Elena Petz to just tap this one back, stick around in the forefoot to score the single point. And no problem doing that. Makes it a 3-2 game after 3. Fourth end, and cat and mouse game of battling those stones in the forefoot. The miss on a hit and roll to guard this run back means Dilshat Yildiz an opportunity to score multiple again. And Turkey skip, runs it back, catches just enough of their red, spins that yellow out to score 2 and a 5-2 lead. Fifth end, a pivotal end, chance for Switzerland to get their first multiple score, as it is a tap back for 1 for the Swift last stone thrower. So just come down, tap it back, the lie just in the back after Turkey rolled just too far. So 2 for Switzerland and 5 to make it 5-4 halfway through. Check in New Zealand against Sweden, 6-1, Sweden leading against the Kiwis. And it looks like a draw for 2. 2's have been wild for Anna Hasselborg and her team, trying to get their first win of the competition. 0-3 coming in. 2018 Olympic gold medalist. Needs the forefoot in order to get a second point. It comes down, doesn't stop to get the second, and it digs in back forefoot. So there's 2 for Sweden. 5-4 is the score in our feature game. Turkey leading Switzerland with the hammer. New Zealand gets the hammer, but down 8-1 to Sweden. And Denmark in full control against Scotland, 6-1. They lead. Scotland has the hammer in the 6th end of that game. And the stats after 5 ends, Turkey that 1-point lead. Overall percentage advantage to Switzerland, 88-84. The drop numbers, Switzerland setting things up, 96% to 80 for Turkey. 91% for Turkey to 78 for Switzerland. Our live coverage inside Center 200, Sydney, Nova Scotia, Canada, playing host to the BKT Tires World Women's Curling Championship 2024. First time the World Women's Curling Championship have come to this neck of the woods in Nova Scotia. In a great spot. They had the Canadian Championship a few years ago. Success in that, and now holding the Worlds. And good fans. The school kids are here in the building, getting to see some world-class curling on a Monday morning. What better way to start your school week off is come watch some curling.
Oh, absolutely. So great to see the kids in the building.
It's a good turnout. A lot of people over the weekend coming out. Obviously, a little fewer people because the home country Canada is not in action, but still cheering on all the great shots that are being made. And we're in for a good finish in this game. Turkey leading 5-4.
So first rock goes up for Team Switzerland. It's off the center. Team Turkey could deal with it, just trying to tick it out of the way, but they've elected to draw around, which is good too, as long as it's above the forefoot, or above the T-line, pardon me.
And there are the school kids up, wanting to have something to cheer about. 98%.
Wow, what a game.
Draw numbers are in favor of Switzerland in the game. Part of that because they've been set up better at the lead spot. Betafin Sengul hasn't had the ideal placement with some of her stones, so they're going to need to have that improve in the second half of this game.
This has to curl. Carroll trying to get right to the face. It might bounce off a bit, but still a pretty good position, I would think. It is wide open, however, for Turkey.
Berfin kontrol. Vur Kay.
So you have to think, Luke.
See the 73%, that's different. You make this, all of a sudden now, you win that lead position. You make this hit and roll, and you have an early edge.
So you have to think, we heard a little bit of the conversation for Team Switzerland and the fact that they're within one now and feeling a little bit more confident with that great shot by Alina Petz to get two. But for the Turkey team, you know, you just keep playing the way you've been playing. You've been playing with a ton of confidence. A couple small mistakes, really not bad mistakes in that last end that gave up that two, but have been just playing really outstanding thus far.
Selina Witshanke, 93% on the game. Moves into that second position as they've changed their lineup. Carol Hovald moving to the lead spot after playing second last year. It's hitting just a little too far of a roll.
And it looks like Turkey is going to continue with their aggressive play here. They have the hammer in this very important sixth end, even end, and so they've got shot stone. It is behind the tee line, which doesn't help them, so now a chance to put one here, top four, in the same line.
%90 on the game. Lafayette, Şafak Şalikashu.
Çizgime bayağı açık, yavaşsa Berfin.
Yavaş. Hala bekliyor.
Aha, önde.
This one's way out there.
Şafak.
Just heavy, it looks like.
Yap arkaya Öznur.
Melissa, the aggressive call is okay. We saw it in the first end, it worked out in their favor. But you don't make it, then all of a sudden now, advantage to Switzerland.
And that's where we talk about tolerance. You know, you have to bring tolerance into play here. And at this stage and level, tolerance should be within 1 to 2 feet, really. What I mean by that is if you call it tee line, you can be 1 to 2 feet above or 1 to 2 feet below, behind. But in this situation, it's above, and you can't afford to be heavy on that particular shot. This gives out an opening here to Switzerland to try and freeze. There's another rock not quite curling. That's the third one in a row that hasn't curled quite like they were expecting. Interesting.
Well, that's right down the center line, so maybe something to see if it's a spot in the ice.
Sometimes the slide path does change a little bit, and that's where, you know, sometimes it can get a little bit fudgy, but it seems like it seems a little bit faster, and we've heard that as well. Sometimes when you mop at the fifth end break, you find it just to be that half second to second faster. And that could be the situation here as well.
Yavaşsa yap dönsün. Hızı iyi ol Öznur. Hız sizde. Önde kızlar. Önde. Geri geliyor.
Again, tolerance here, just trying to keep this above the tee line.
I mean, just really seeing it glide, and that's that. So after that fifth end, you see it so many times.
Yeah, and both teams have had 4 or 5 chances to see it now. You've got to make that adjustment as quick as possible, and if you played enough, you know at the sixth end, there's just that potential of it being a little bit faster. So that's a conversation, you know, that usually takes place in that fifth end break. It's always a reminder. I remember, you know, always saying to your players, just remember with the mop, there's a chance that it could be a little faster and just make that slight adjustment, especially if you're, you know, if you throw a second or two less with this brushing, you're still fine.
Well, you told me in the fifth end break, it's going to be quicker in the sixth. Just still in that habit of telling me.
And you'd remember.
Always. 90% on the game for Silvana Tiranzoni. Here's this chance here. Who's able to grasp it, sort of take control of this sixth end?
This one looks a little closer. This is going to be a great shot by Silvana, and that's why she's playing 90%. No mistake there.
Goes back the decision to come around rather than hit to lie 2 and keep it almost simplify the end. They drew, went heavy, and they're in a bit of a bind now.
And that's decisions, right? It's always about decisions, and you try and realize what you need to do. Do you want to go for your simpler two? And you know, when you're playing the reigning world champions, sometimes it is easier just to play the simpler game.
Wasn't Palat, 88% on the game.
Rushers haven't really touched this one much either. Would love this one to stop right in front of that yellow rock, not bounce off.
Like that. Just a little bounce.
Oh boy.
1-2.
dass sie nur mit einem liegt, oder? Genau, ja, dass sie nur mit einem liegt.
Immer noch liegen.
Yeah, when you look at it, and Turkey is sitting two, you're thinking, oh, good for them, but really not. Those red rocks are not in good positions at all.
Also, nein, eben, was nicht passieren ist irgendwie so, oder? Ja, sie den noch für 4 oder so. Danke, ja. Gleich lang, du musst nicht länger kommen. Gleich lang!
Ja. Also so 85.
Nur ein halber Stein-Tap oder ein Stein.
Again, Alina Pet's just telling us exactly what they're going to do here, which is fantastic.
Don't need a telestrator. She does it for us.
She indeed does. I love it. So trying to move this just to the back four. Trying to create a little bit of space.
She's made that good freeze on her first. Chance to have both of theirs in the promotable position in front of those Turquia stones. Just that little tap. Looks like they are shot stone.
If you are Turquia now, you're trying to figure out how you're going to score here. And it's about creating space. You don't want to just tap it back. Yeah, there's a good indication. You want to move it right back to the 12 foot, get it out of the way. So yellow onto red. Just tap back weight, back 12 weight. Most importantly, the rock that you're throwing has to stay right in front of that yellow stone to give yourselves a chance here.
Yep.
Trying to tap it and sit there, but that roll away again. Overthrows.
Yeah, too much weight or too much line, either or.
Skip stones.
Yep.
Yeah, Switzerland line one, and really, Luke, I don't think that Yellowstone goes anywhere at the moment.
Alina Pet's, they're not wasting any time, 73% on the game. Knew they were in a good spot after that last one by Tirinzoni.
Yeah, two great shots by Tirinzoni for sure. So this one's trying to put a guard up here, but it looks a little deep.
A little deep. Out
I think
there
that's
just playing the guard will come right in.
It's a pretty good plan B.
Buradan bir tane burada, şu da şuna gelsin, şuralara gitsin.
Aynen.
Kanka hiçbir şey yok.
Feel.
Olmaz yani, en azından sadece şu kalır.
Kanka göbeğe yakın da olsa olur ha. Daha iyi evde kalırız. Ama peel yani önemli değil. Aynen.
This one will come flying.
It is indeed, and really, there's not a lot good can happen here, except maybe you get rid of one or two of the yellow stones. But I don't think. Well, I think one Yellowstone stays for sure. It's potentially other Yellowstone's going to hit it thick enough; it's going to stay as well. Trying to create some space there in the 4-foot button area, but You are in trouble if you're Turkey right now.
Gotta hope you can try and spin one, at least open up the scoring area. And that'll leave Switzerland lying 1-2.
It looks a little better, I think. Not.
Well, we're still a ways from a final in our game, but we have our first in session 6. Sweden gets their first win as they defeat New Zealand 8-2.
Sarah went to the
Anna
bathroom.
Hasselborg picks up the win.
Should we all leave? It gets really fast.
So just 2 games remaining out on the ice.
25.
Linie ist gut. 3. Linie ist gut. 2.
I think Switzerland can throw the center guard, or they can throw the exact same shot, try and tap. But I think this one's going to be the guard, just based on the weight. Is it there, Luke? Half a stone.
Can you push it to the red to push the yellow to the left?
Araya girersek alırız.
Yeah, I guess there's 2 ways you can do it. You can
Çok ince değil.
try and go around the horn, yellow, red, yellow, and up.
Tamam yani bizim ama buraya girmemiz için şurası.
Or you can just play the double on the yellow, red, shoot the yellow over. I don't know how much space there is there. But once we see the overhead, we can look at it.
Biraz kapat.
Oh, there's enough. You can definitely, you might be able to score here, do you think?
I think there's a chance.
There's a chance. Hit this yellow one pretty thin. Shoot it over towards the red onto yellow.
Look, all those reds, that's the problem. Everything's behind the tee line. But you can find a way to score here.
That would be incredible. So the goal here is to hit it as thin as possible.
Dilsat Yildiz, last shot of this 6th end, leading this game 5-4.
He's got the weight. Can she make contact?
Well,
Doesn't sound
not a good
like
sound. Will go thin, and it's going to be a steal of 2, and just like that, back-to-back 2s. And the world champs have their lead back. It's the first time since the first end they will have the upper hand in this one, leading 6-5 after 6.
Well played, Dan. That was fast, eh, now? It was like 10 draws in a row.
I had 4:22. One that was back to it.
Einer voraus. Ich würde einen Guard machen, glaube ich, oder? Dann geht sie hinten rein. Gut. Machen wir einen Guard? Ja. Die Seite ist auch wieder ein bisschen besser.
Ja.
Kızlar ama taşlar önde kalırsa böyle bir şey olmaz. Tamam, team'in önüne.
Welche Seite willst du?
sparen?
Hier.
Also etwa so. Oh, so 25?
Ja, so wie
20,
vorhin.
25.
Du hast das Verlängerung gehabt, ja. Bis auf 16.
Das ist nicht so schlecht.
Länge ist gut, Linie! Länge ist gut, ja! Linie!
Linie. Linie.
Wow!
Gut, 3.
Linie, wenn du... Er ist mega nah! Immer noch Linie!
Our live coverage Continuing, Turkey against Switzerland, session 6. Switzerland now a 6-5 lead. 2 at the hammer, head into the 5th end break, and then they steal 2 in that last end. Very quick ice surface, both teams getting caught. But it was Switzerland that made a couple of shots when they needed to. Time to regroup and see if they can bounce back.
Yeah, only down 1 here with the hammer. Turkey just has to be careful that they're not kind of being, you know, drawn into how Switzerland wants to play the game. And we know how Switzerland wants to play the game. And I think on that last end, if Turkey would have just made a shot, like a defensive shot, a bailout shot earlier, it may have been a different result. So those are the things you just have to think about now. You still want to play your game style, but you have to know when things aren't going well, when you need to bail. You usually do that in the second stone, or thirds first. Best time to do it.
Well, the come around didn't get buried, so allowed for the hit. It doesn't get in behind. We'll see who can make that hit and roll. I think for Turkey, an end like this isn't a bad thing, where you can try and make that roll. Just, you know what, make it a little simpler, not as stressful mentally along with the execution.
I agree, and you can actually, it'd be interesting if you're Turkey, if you hit and roll away from the guard, what does Switzerland do? Do they ignore you and just go around? And maybe you have a chance to set yourself up for 2 that way.
Can't tick it off the center.
And not.
So the guard will go back.
Center'da. Yes.
Also, der muss sicher auf die Linie.
So they'll put it back as close to where they thought it was. Like you said, Melissa, that's the other way. If you're playing to hit and roll away, you're not really flirting with the guard.
Yeah, I think that would have been a good call there. But I like the idea of playing simpler this end, maybe just a little bit simpler if you're Turkey. Switzerland's on a momentum boost now. They've had 2 great ends.
Sorry, Steve.
So they get 2 in behind, and here's that bailout. Try and get out of dodge, get out of some trouble right now.
Yeah, big shot here. Try and get 2 of these going if you can. Straight peel's not bad, but it'd be nice to catch one in the house.
And we'll catch one
lovely.
of them.
Super.
That's a great shot.
Bravo.
Also leaves a corner guard.
Yeah, that's terrific. Oh, nicely thrown, nice sweep, and just a great call to catch that second stone. Huge shot there. Team Switzerland looking for another center guard here. He's got to get to the center line.
Don't want to leave that open for a hit and roll. This one not going to be where they want. The chunk A, and with the wrong side of that stone available.
Exactly. If you're ever going to miss that guard, you want it to over curl, not under curl. You never want to leave these hit and rolls for your opposition. So chance here now. Get the hit and roll behind that corner guard.
Let's check in. 6-2 Denmark leading Scotland in that, and chance for Denmark put this one out of reach.
Yeah, it looks like a pretty, not straightforward, but a double here for Madeline Dupont. If she makes this double, I think she scores 3. Pretty much nose might do it. And there she does. What a shot.
And that is 3 for Denmark. And it is Scotland concedes defeat 9-2. So Denmark wins that, improves to 3-1 with the 9-2 win.
Impressive.
Yeah, good bounce back. She wasn't sure how she was going to, after a game where they survived, she said, against Japan, being Denmark, and looked very stressed and mentally fatigued yesterday. That one much simpler for Denmark.
Definitely. She'll be happy with that and be able to get some rest now. So unfortunately for Turkey, they did hit the guard and weren't able to hit the one in the rings. So they'll have a second chance here with this rock coming in. Little deep.
So we said the 6th end always a little quicker. Does that carry over? Like seeing that one slide in, a couple have been deeper for Switzerland.
Yeah, especially when you're playing that same path, you have to watch. Every time a rock goes down there, you just have to be aware that it's probably going to be a little slicker each time. So if you just remember to keep throwing, if you just keep throwing that same weight, just let your brushers do the rest. They can carry it a long way. So they're looking for the nose hit here, I believe.
Just bounces off, so in between either the roll or the nose.
Yeah, that's a difficult shot when you're trying to hit a nose hit, because just if you're off by a millimeter, it makes a big difference.
So it is Switzerland line 2. So they scored that 2 in the 5th end, and they've just been all the momentum. Get that steal last end, just all going the way of Switzerland.
Absolutely, and so if you're Turkey now, you're going to be pretty happy. I would be looking or thinking about blanking here. A blank here and taking hammer into the 8th end. That would be a really great spot to be in. But I don't think they're playing a double. They're just trying to play the single, maybe?
Well, and it's in between, just caroms off it and slides out.
So the first half of the game, we saw them making all of those so precise, and now they're just missing by that ½ inch. And it makes a massive difference.
So draw to the wide side away from the corner guard here for Lena Petz.
Yeah, goal for Switzerland obviously is to force Turkey to have to take a single here and get the hammer back in 8 themselves. Tirzoni coming out to assist.
You know they can drag it. They got to get it into the rings to lie 2, but you also don't want to leave a double.
Oh, incredible sweeping there. Is the double there now? Or did they take it deep enough?
What's probably there is just how easy of a double is it.
It's there. It's a little steep, but you could get it with third of a rock. These are situations where you want to decide if you're Turkey right now, do you want to play the hit and roll or do you want to play the double? It's not the same shot, it's not the same weight, and it's not hitting it in the same place. So those are the discussions you really need to have as a team to understand which one you're going for first.
In this stage of the end, probably the double makes the most sense to give it a run.
I think so. Double here keeps the blank alive.
Oh, this weight is definitely the double.
It's over curling.
And not enough ability to over curl and stick around with that kind of weight.
Yeah, right out of her hand, a little bit tight. And they were hoping to get it to curl enough that it would stick in the rings, but no such luck. So chance here now for Switzerland to split the rings again. You see the indication there that this one needs to be on the tee line. You don't want to give Turkey another chance to throw the double.
And you want to close the rings, but almost get Turkey into thinking about, do we draw, do we hit to try and score our single point?
They haven't been in this situation. We saw them yesterday. They did both. They played the hit once and they drew once. So it'll be interesting to see what decision is made. All comes down to the comfort of the skip.
There's no lack of curl out on the ice. Getting a lot of that big swing. That one will be on the edge, back 8 foot.
Yeah, the ice surface has just been outstanding. Now there is probably the double there, Luke, but it is a very long double. So it looks like the hit and stick for one. Not a lot of room to roll, though, if you look at it. That other Yellowstone is full 8 foot.
And on the game, numbers are actually better for Dilshat on the draw game than the hit. But electing this as the comfort against 2.
When you just threw a really high, hard peel, and now you've got to bring that weight down. You got to think just a soft weight here. But I don't think she brought it down much, to be honest. Can they hold it?
Cannot roll out. Cannot roll too far. Stay in the 8 foot. And
oh, wow. Great job.
On the nose. Great sweep to hold that one for Turkey. And we are all tied up. 7 ends in. 6-6 the score.
Biz çalıyoruz. Şimdi center. Güzel. Hiç bozma. Aynen. Kızlar hiç bozmayın. Valla çok güzel oynadı. Bu sadece 6. elde hataları. Yön mükemmel. Kızlar 3. Yöni, hayır. Yöni devam et Öznur.
Our live coverage, the BKT Tires World Women's Curling Championship 2024. 6-6, Turkey against Switzerland. And what a difference this has been the last few ends. First 4, Turkey, full control advantage, getting mistakes, but Switzerland, to their credit, the 4-time reigning world champions for a reason, and have made the shots they've needed to. Score 2 with the hammer, get a steal, get a force. And that's how we go. Luke Coley alongside Melissa Saligo. It's a case the experience just so much. 7th trip for Tiranzoni to the Worlds. 3rd straight for Dilshat Yildiz in this Turkey squad.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting last couple of ends or 3 ends. So a little different tactic here for Switzerland, but that high center going up, they just played one right to the wings. Didn't have to throw a corner guard. they're not worried too much. They would be happy to score here or blank. But even if they score their one, we talk about it all the time about scoreboard management. Those the very, very crucial 8th end. If you have the hammer and you score, your opposition scores a 9, you have the hammer coming home in 10, and that is your goal.
8th end, we'll get a look at the player numbers and a comparison. And Carol Hovald in 96, just 73 for Berfen Sangol. Not getting things set up. That's not bad. Guard a little bit higher, and then obviously you have to, the come around needs to be higher in the rings.
Exactly, and I think they were probably calling for another tight center there to get 2 center guards up. The end goal here for Turkey is they would love to steal, obviously, but if they can just force Switzerland to a single, maybe they blank a 9 and come home with hammer and 10. So there's a couple different scenarios that can be played out here. But it all comes down to this and trying to get your rocks in the right positions. And for Turkey, not allowing too many yellow stones to be lying around when it comes down to skip stones.
Kontrol. Vurup kaysak mükemmel.
Have to just look back that 5th end. We thought it would be an interesting one on how the game would swing. Turkey just gets their 2 to go up by 3, and they play. It's a lot of stones in play, not a simple end. And Switzerland gets their 2, and almost like it gave them some life.
That's exactly right. That's such a good point. And you know, we talk about it over and over again, is that you need to manage the scoreboard, you need to manage what happens. And so if you think about it, when you're up, what was it, 5-4, you have hammer, you have control, you have an even end, you have all the factors going toward you. So if you play even simpler in that 6th end, things could be different, right? And that's what you need to think about. Maybe change your tactic along the way. You have to go with the flow.
So Turkey line 2. Vichanke asked to play the short little raise, get rid of that 1, hold the shooter as well to have 2 yellows in the rings.
Yeah, just a nice soft tap, like you say. Roll your shooter to the wing. Great shot.
Just well managed. They looks effortless. The whole team with the call, the line call.
Kontrol.
Even numbers between both seconds in this one. 88% Shaila Kashu and Vichanke.
Looking for the nose hit or even a slight roll to center. Oh, need to get off that outside one though. Oh boy. Bit of a mistake there for sure.
A lot of those mistakes are coming in these last few ends from this Turkey team. Hard not to think we're going up against the reigning world champs and have won 38 straight games. Could we be the one that ends it? Well, obviously a lot of game left, but
yeah, and you can imagine the nerves that might be settling in right now, right? You're like, at one point we're leading this team, but you just have to believe in yourself and believe in the ability. I mean, they played so well in the first half. So now you're in jeopardy here of potentially giving up 2 and 8. So it's time to be really precise, really try and find a way to get a hit and roll. You can hit and roll behind the guard, which is ideal. You can hit and roll behind the other yellow stone, which isn't bad. You try and group the stones together. A hit and roll behind center would be the best outcome.
try and make this roll behind the center. Right on the nose. Osner Palat Both thirds have played really well in this game, but Tirinzoni slightly better if she's able to get this to the wing again in a position for that multiple score. There's those numbers. 93 for Tirinzoni, 86 for Palat.
Great numbers.
86 and you're being out curled by 7%.
Especially at the third position, you don't see that a lot. Looking for the nose hit.
Go, go, go, go, go. Goed zo, Tiri. Goed.
Sterkste. Met heel hard doen.
Seeing Switzerland just becoming locked in, and when they're in this frame, there's not a lot of errors. They are very tactically smart in Tirinzoni in the house, and then they execute their shots. They miss the right way. These are things you learn as you play a number of games.
Trying to get a big roll here towards the other yellow stone.
Aynı bırakma. Çizgiyi daratsam da çok önemi yok.
There was a small chance for the double as well, but
Dışarıda mı?
key there was to try and roll over to the yellow.
Mecburen vurmazlar.
So now if you're Switzerland, do you draw around the center guard? Do you hit and stick and roll, or hit and roll on that red stone?
Ich glaube, sie kommt immer her. Weißt du, zu machen, sie da noch wicken. Ich hätte es, glaube ich, bis rüber.
Ich muss einfach bis da wicken.
Also,
dann kann sie auch so. Was meint ihr?
Ich glaube, ich finde es okay.
Wenn sie Doppel macht, dann ist halt bis 0. Ist auch nicht so tragisch.
Nicht so schlimm,
Ich
ja.
finde einfach, wenn du da herkommst und ein bisschen da raus schaut, hat sie aufs Mal den Hittenroll.
Ja.
Weil die Garde ist so weit vorne.
Oder
Gibt
der
es aber
Doppel,
keinen,
oder?
das wäre auch nicht schlimm. Ich frage mich nicht, ob wir jetzt nicht auf 2 gehen. Das wäre die Entscheidung, oder nicht? Aber wenn wir das Timeout nehmen.
Ja, können wir, ja.
Timeout.
Well, Switzerland going to call their timeout to talk. Obviously, almost scoreboard strategy as well here.
Der ist schon drin.
Das ist auch schlimm, oder?
Yeah, there's just a few ideas here for this rock.
Ja.
Hit and roll, draw around the guard.
Also,
I like out-turn draw, like top 8.
hier.
Yeah, well, a little more open.
My out turn.
But then she can
open on
play
this,
the-
open on
they
this
can
side,
play
right?
hit and roll.
No, what's the problem open there?
She's
And that's,
going hit and roll to here, right? Guard is very high. I like to draw, but I
You
think,
like to draw or hit?
I like the draw.
okay. So
Just,
if it's,
just because otherwise it's probably going to be a blank.
Okay,
Blank's not ideal. I'd rather go for 2.
if it's open, it's better on this side.
Yeah.
Are we?
Ja.
Do we agree?
Yeah,
Just perfectly behind.
but still go from the out-turn, right?
Yeah.
Und so,
I like it.
gleiche Höhe. Wenn wir tiefer sind, hat sie halt hier den Doppel.
Ja, aber
oder?
wenn sie den macht, also den bringen wir, glaube ich, immer
The
raus.
coach was very
Aber-
specific.
Aber ganz oft.
Here's Red.
Perfekt jetzt.
Okay.
So wie
Da haben wir einmal so
da die Friese gespielt
Da haben wir so Eis gehabt,
Ja.
für die Friese.
Oh, Alina, eh? Like, I mean, yeah, okay.
Denkst du daran?
Well, Pierre got there. He saw there was still a few seconds within the time. He's like, I got a couple other things still to say. So let's make sure they're on the same page, knowing what they want to do with the scoreboard. And we've talked about it, blanking this end. Then you have 2 ends, and it's a hammer each. You have a chance to go for 2. You go for 2 right now, and
And that
that's
makes
what they draw.
sense. Yeah, exactly. And they talked about hitting that one, but really it's not a factor at the moment. And the idea here is to put this rock fully buried behind that tall red stone there, that long red stone. However, you have to make sure that it's even with your other yellow stone that's in the rings.
Ja, Linie. Linie, Selina, Linie.
Acht hat er.
Just getting that past the guard. Actually going to come out the other side here.
we talked about being open, and that if they're going to be open on that side.
Wow.
So if the double's made, it doesn't sit buried.
That's pretty much worst case scenario. It not only did it over curl, but I think it set up the double.
Double and roll.
Yeah, possibly. But ideally, just make the double and sit 2 if you're Turkiye.
Vuracağı yer burası zaten. Vuracağı yer burası.
Great weight, just really over curled.
Immer noch gut Schuss für 2. Also,
Ja, ja, ja.
What a massive opportunity here for Turkey to make this double.
Dilşat Yildiz looking at the double. Well, 1, 2, and we'll get a little roll to lie 2.
Brilliant.
Needed one of those, not just this position, but confidence as well. Things been going Switzerland's way. Double made.
Just threw that perfect. No mistake made. And a great call as well. Look at that, almost rolled up enough. So Switzerland now has to play the hit and roll themselves. It's pretty much edge on edge, I would think. So just maybe softer weight for Alina Petz. Maybe tuck a portion underneath.
Just make that last one a little trickier for Yildiz and maybe have an opportunity at 2.
Yeah, 2 is still alive here for sure if you can make this one good. No, it over curled again. They were sweeping for curl from the get-go and
Didn't need to.
didn't even really call them off.
Does make this an interesting hole to get through.
Does, do you throw the inner out? Or
İşten geleyim.
I guess you're throwing the counterclockwise there. You have to
Normal
get
geri dön
past.
ona. Ha, aynen.
Ooh, I don't know.
Böyle 3-2 gibi.
Looks like there's
Sen
more
öne
room
gel,
on the
biraz daha şey
clockwise
yapacağım.
shot. But you obviously don't want
Aynen.
to curl into that red stone that's just out front. Yeah, missed call there by Switzerland for sure.
Yeah, and this one, playing this, the centerline guard's not really the issue.
No.
Numbers of these 2 fourth stone throwers. Dilşat Yildiz at 77%. Hits bringing her numbers down, along with Alina Petz as well. Missed those runbacks early in the game.
It looks like she's throwing a lot of weight on this too, Luke. If you overthrow it, it can be dragged out, and it could be on that outside red one. So just want to get through the port, and you'll make contact.
Well, it's through the hole.
What
right
a
on the
shot.
nose.
It could have actually left it a bit and been a little more precise and got a roll, but terrific shot. And it is a draw against 2 for Alina Petz and Team Switzerland.
Yeah, and this is the 8th end where a decision could be made if it was the 9th to maybe try the blank, the double and blanket. This will draw for the single point.
Yep, this is all about scoring in the 8th.
Alina Petz, full 8 foot or better.
Ja, nu.
Get Switzerland the lead back with a single in 8.
Dranbleiben. Kerle fest,
Sehr gut, die Länge.
Okay, gut dann. 14,
These
2.
sweepers
Ist gut.
know exactly how to manage this stone,
Sehr schön.
and no mistake made.
That one right in, so a single point goes on the board for Switzerland. 7-6 they lead. Turkey with the hammer into the 9th.
Kontrolü elden bırakmıyoruz. Şu an çekiş bizde. Bilen yaparsak çok güzel.
Tamam. Yes.
Yes. Bilen yaparsak çok güzel. Olmazsa 2 için oynarız. Onlar zaten şu an şey yapacak. Guard alacak bilerek ki yani arkasında güzel bir tapete önce biz girdik mi 2'yi yakalıyoruz bunlardan. Tamam. Güveniyorum size.
Die ist immer noch
Du
schnell.
kannst ein bisschen drauflegen.
Ist gut, 3.
Line, gut. Hänge ist gut.
3. Ja, kannst du nicht.
Line ist gut.
Just the lone game out on the ice still after the other two have finished early. The BKT Tires World Women's Curling Championship 2024. Switzerland no stranger to being the lone game out on the ice
Top 8.
as you get into the playoff round.
Sendeyiz Berfo.
Turkey, not so much. You see Sweden winning 8-2 over New Zealand, getting their first win. Denmark wins their third game, 9-2 winners over Scotland.
Yön mükemmel.
93.
Turkey trying to end the winning streak of Switzerland
Oh hayır yön iyi.
at the World Championship, which
Yön mükemmel.
dates back to 2021, the last loss by Silvana Tirinzoni and Switzerland. It's at 38 games.
Devam et. Yap. Bozma yap.
And they'll chip that one because it wasn't on the center. They can move it.
Çizgi çok güzeldi.
Not that they wanted to, they're trying to come around it.
Was heet der Kapitän?
15. Sorry.
Not bad, though. It does
Ja, ist gut.
pretty much block up the forefoot at the moment, but they were able to roll their stone off, so it's usable.
Aber ich wieder
Line,
unten.
gut.
Hände 4.
You have to think that Turkey would have had a conversation with the coach, perhaps, to decide how they wanted to play this end.
Hänge ist gut.
Likely, in a perfect scenario, they either get their two or they blank. There's one isn't going to be enough likely to go into the 10th end tied without hammer. So you have to figure out what do you want to do here. And they've been pretty much been aggressive, offensive since the get-go.
Split de
So will they
yapabiliriz
continue
eve
that
yakınsa.
in this end?
Eve yakında attığımız girmez. Çok yakın değil. Böyle olur.
Güzel olur.
Depends on the game plan, but you could play the run back now. You can play your
Bence
own
gel buradan.
guard.
Beket gibi en kötü gard ayırırız
You
zaten.
can. I like the split on those two reds. Get them in on the paint.
Beket, back 12.
That rock that's back button back 4. That's not in a good position if you're Team Switzerland. So
Yavaş da.
open it up if you're Turkey.
Sır!
Try and split your stones onto the rings.
Bırakmadan. Oh! Yap Önder, yap. Bravo. Yap.
Plan B here, just a straight tap back.
Keeps the guard, keeps the stone in play in front of the T
Güzel.
line, one that you can
Hazırıymış
use.
da Berfin çok dardı.
I'm not sure that's very helpful right now. However, it could come into play here because you can run your red onto yellow. And that's why Switzerland's having a look right now. They originally called the guard, but coming in top 4 isn't bad either. It'll take the run away from Turkey.
Yapsaydı.
Vier Linie. Ist knapp.
Ja, vorne drauf.
Vier Linie.
Vor 8.
Länge gut.
Attım.
Länge gut.
Vier Linie. Linie.
Nur wenn die muss.
Linie.
If this corner freeze is made well, then Turkey's got to look at moving that red stone of theirs.
Er ist dran.
Oh, what a beautiful shot.
Schön.
Right down to it, right in front, just controlling those angles.
Gut, schön gewesen.
Göbeğe yakın vurunca bu da buna gelsin. Sorun değil.
Tamam. Yön in.
İn.
See, as tempting as it is to play the run and try and get rid of one of those yellow stones, again, you could push your red one behind the yellow corner and roll your shooter away to expose those 3 stones on the forefoot
Hayır o.
instead of trying to throw the big peel weight.
Wow. Şabak.
That was an opportunity to put another red stone into the rings.
Aynen. Onu yapmasa çizgisi mükemmel.
And almost if you're going to play that run back, play it on your first.
Exactly.
Ja, ich habe jetzt 4
Yeah, that's an opportunity there that
Okay, gut. Das habe ich gleich so vorher.
Team Turkey did not take advantage of, I would think. A chance here for Switzerland. Continuing to put the pressure on their opposition.
25.
Ja.
Linie ist gut. 3.
Warte schnell, Linie.
Stopp, Max. Wo sind wir? Linie ist gut. 3.
Ist ein bisschen weiter draussen.
Linie ist gut im Fall. Wir müssen, der kommt nicht runter.
Want this one across center if they can.
Fest.
Trying to get it to Carol.
Go, go, go, go, go, go, go, go, go.
Oh, wow. Didn't get there.
Gut.
You expect all that curl, and then some of those draws we've seen really take off, but that's late. Here you don't get that late because it's out in front.
Bam.
3, 4, 5.
Again, if your end goal here is to get 2, I would bring my weight down to ensure that your shooter stays in play. You can even just push this yellow stone to the back of the rings.
Oh. Hızlı. Dönmesi lazım.
El Fayed Shafak Shalikashu
Özgür gir.
try and do just that. Keep this one around.
Sar Berfin.
Well, they're hopefully trying to keep that red one around, but just pushes it out and shooter stays in the open.
Playing the hit on this open red stone. Things aren't really going well here for Turkey in this ninth end to get the deuce for sure. Will they have a chance to play a double at all to maybe get a blank? But what a perfect roll there by Silvana Tirazzoni.
Yeah, it gets just a little bit protected. It's not the way this ninth end has wanted to set up for Turkey.
Such a good shot.
And those sweepers just jumping and hopping around, dancing around the stones out in front.
Oh, çizgi yok. Şabak yap. Sadece bak sert.
Aç yapak onu.
The run back doesn't get anything, just peels it off, and still Switzerland lying 3.
Ich glaube, also das war ein bisschen viel gewesen. Ja, also ist, glaube wenn er 3 wäre, wäre er gut gewesen.
Ja,
Er ist am
mega längenabhängig.
Ja. Ich glaube, jetzt ist ja besser, wenn wir diese Seite decken, oder? Wegen hinten
No,
rum.
nicht.
Ja.
Ist dort?
Ja. Aber genau, ein bisschen den Center
meine
einbeissen.
Ja.
Pass vor dem Haus!
Ja, ich glaube 95 genau.
Den Centerline beißen.
Ja.
Also auf der anderen
so?
Seite natürlich. Ja.
Gut.
Tirazzoni looking to replace the guard now.
Ja, gib mir ein bisschen weniger. Muss ein bisschen übergehen.
It's almost impossible at this moment for Turkey to score the way things are set up.
Ja, ich gehe.
Wird noch weniger geben, ja.
There's no draw path to the 4-foot. Savannah 94% on 8 draws.
She's had a solid game and really getting things set up the last, especially the second half of the game. She made the key freeze in that 6th end, which ultimately led to the steal of 2 points.
And that's pretty good right there. Might have overcurled just a smidge, but I think it's no problem at all. Again,
Turkey is worried, trying to make sure they can score here in this end.
that's pretty much what they have to do. They're just going to keep banging away here and they have to try and catch one of those ones in the rings, though. Try and open up a scoring path for themselves. And right now they have nothing.
93%, 11 hits for Oldner Palat. Try and get that top 8-foot stone out, and it'll
That
open
will
it
help.
up.
shot there.
Güzel.
As a sweeper, if you're looking at details, you look at that. You want to sweep that red stone as far over as possible. But you got on it a little bit late because now it's a bit in the way. But if you're Turkey, it does look a little bit better right now until this next rock is being thrown here by Switzerland. They can put this one top 12. They can put a nice center guard again. They're a little worried that that red stone, Turkey has the ability to run it in. But right now, that's their only out at the moment.
Well, Lena Petz has been spot on with all her 8 draws in this game. I'm sure even if Turkey has to play that angle run to score 1, they'd be happy leaving them that 1 shot.
Oh, absolutely. So looking for tight center again here.
Well, looks like they cover up enough as it is lying 2. Dilshat Yildiz has had a solid game, and you look back to the 4th end, chance to score another multiple. They're hoping for now in 9, but this was a key shot in the game.
This was just a tremendous shot. It got a little tight, but the sweepers held it, and just enough to get their deuce. What a great shot.
They didn't follow up, though, the next end as they could have. They do give up 2, but they're fortunate it was only 2. It could have been a lot worse. But Switzerland's gained momentum from that point forward.
They really have now. Really, really big shot here. That Swiss rock needed to curl probably another inch. There is a port there with just a soft tap weight. Get through the port and get to the shot stone. If you can get past that center guard, you might get it.
A big sweep.
Oh, it's by.
Now tap it back.
Wow, what a shot.
And they'll push it back to lie 1.
Phenomenal shot. And the crowd really appreciates it. She called that and threw it and made it perfectly. Look at this. What a well-managed stone. And then at the end, just curling it right to the nose of shot stone. Brilliant.
And now it's just a matter of trying to close the rings for Switzerland. Come down on top of it.
I think so. I think they're trying to freeze to it. Tolerance here obviously on the lighter side, so it finishes anywhere between T-line and top house. I think that they would be okay with that because I don't think Turkey can get a second stone in there. Obviously the tighter the better to that red one. Looks like it's still on the red guard. They're trying to get it to curl past the red guard, and it did not.
Plugs that hole. You got to get to the 4-foot to get that second point. But if a 2 comes out of here, this would be quite the 2-point score by Turkey.
What a turn of events here, as you say, if that were to happen. So they have the long angle tap. They don't want to throw weight at it, just back 4 weight. I think that's your best option. Just back 4, maybe back 8.
The only other port is real tight just to left of center, and
you have to throw draw weight, so that would make it really tough to get through there. I mean, it's there. Both shots incredibly difficult. They played this side a lot, so they will have a good idea of what the ice is.
Taking their time to talk about it. Both teams have used their timeout. 6 minutes still remaining for Turkey.
What a massive point this would be if Dilshat Yildiz can make this shot.
Derim. 7. 7 iyidir. 65-7 gibi.
3-6 mı?
Aynen.
We need to talk about the ice, about the weight.
Kanka
It's kind of a
yarısına
weight
vurması
guess out here.
yeterli.
Seeing that even more often. Charlie Cachou out there to help talk about where they need to hit it, what they need to do to tap that one up.
Yeah, you hit 3/4 with back 4, back 8 weight, you're going to make this shot.
Chance to have the lead into the 10th end of this game. Tap this corner guard into the forefoot. Dilşat Yildiz.
Looks like she's got plenty of weight.
On it early. Did they oversweep it early?
Oh, they did indeed.
And they
Oh, the
missed
weight
the
was
tap.
perfect.
Pushes it into the 12-foot. Just thought it would curl early on them, and they got on the sweep. It's a single point for Turkey. 7-7 heading to the 10th end.
Burası dönmüyor mu?
Und so rondom. Ja.
Ulan da yapmaya çalıştık. Şimdi son el, elimizden gelen her şeyi yapalım. Bir sayıyla bizim olabilir. Tamam hadi. Hadi ben oraya gidip geliyorum size.
Bu set artık kim oynarsa.
Aynen.
Tamam.
Kim oynarsa gerçekten.
Biz guardla oynayacağız. Biz arkasına girdiğimiz zaman ivme tamamen farklı olacak. Tamam. Hadi.
Berfo 1 canım 3.
Berfin yine de
Do what you want. Like she's been curling a lot, eh? On
İlk önce bir.
Önce 3 sonra 1. Önce 3 sonra 1.
Tamam. Atabilirsin. Bitti. Tamam işte. Ver.
Yön mükemmel. Kızlar 3. Yön mükemmel. 3'e gelsin evet 3'e gelsin yön mükemmel. Şafak'la devam
Well, it all
et.
comes down to
Dönmesin,
this now, the
dönmesin.
10th end.
Sen Şafak dönmesin.
BKT Tires World Women's Curling Championship 2024. As we are into a 7-7 tie. The first stone will go to the center line for Turkey. Switzerland with last stone advantage.
No fifth. Yep.
You just think if you're Turkey, how close you were to potentially being up 1 coming home. She had perfect weight on that last angle raise, but unfortunately just didn't curl enough. So Chance here now pretty much all out trying to get your steal.
Well, it is just game 4 of this competition, but Switzerland hasn't given up a stolen end yet.
Wow, what a stat, hey?
Good start. Carol Hovald has been locked in with draw weight. That one right to the top of the button.
Yeah, she's had such a great game today.
Biraz verdim onu. Easy.
Geçsin yeter Öznur. Dönsün.
Looking for another center guard here, just over the hog line if they can. Trying to keep those red stones far apart. Switzerland has very good ability of playing double peels.
They're closer together, but they were trying to get it to the center line so it couldn't be tipped.
Yeah, so it's kind of a catch-22. You want it high, but you want it definitely to touch the center line. Another chance here for Switzerland to put one on the top 4, top 8.
Trying to take this all the way in behind.
Tirzoni trying to get out there and help sweep.
Bu biraz kayması lazım böyle.
Tamam.
Şafak, bam.
Bam.
Evet.
Tamam.
Ortaya yakın.
Tamam.
Well, two ways to get out in there and try and set something up here, trying to move things around so they can look like maybe have a pocket, something to play to later. The other turn looks like an option also.
It is indeed, and the key here, though, you don't want to remove this yellow stone. You want it back. You want to
Bas.
just push it to the back of the rings here.
Baba, baba, baba.
Or you hit it a little on high side and maybe push both of the yellows to the back as well.
Berfin şimdi. Say Berfin. Sırt, sırt, sırt.
Chips that one back,
Pretty
just
good.
moves out in the open.
That's a pretty good shot. You're going to see both of these, likely both of these center guards go now. Can they catch all three?
Hopen.
See, that's a situation where you know that your opposition now has a chance to peel, so you almost have to get to the forefoot or to the button and get shot rock right away, so then you can just start throwing guards. But now they have a little bit more work to do. They got to throw guard and they're not shot stone.
We're hoping that you don't see a double peel made. Touch the second guard so it stays in play. Would be something to work with. Machanke had a chance to get rid of both.
Another center guard going here. You want this one fairly high. Again, the closer it is to your own stone, the easier it is to throw the double peel.
Özgür. Çizgi için Özgür. Evet, dönmesin. Çizgi için. Çizgi için devam et.
İyi gibi.
Tamam, siz ama çizgi için.
İyi gibi.
Yap, yap. Biraz daha, biraz daha, biraz daha, biraz daha, biraz daha, biraz daha.
Specific they're guarding or just getting a center line stone?
I think they were looking for the center line guard. But pretty good result. Another peel attempt here.
Single peel on that one. They're halfway through this 10th end. Switzerland trying to make it 39 straight wins at the World Women's Curling Championship. Tirzoni's never lost to Turkey. Dilshat Yildiz never beaten Switzerland in any international competition. Mixed doubles, juniors, world mixed, Europeans.
Yavaşsa Berfin.
Another guard.
Tamam, ileri
A little
gelmesin.
closer to the center perhaps this time.
Dönmesi lazım Berfin.
Hiç.
Tamam, o kırıldı şu an. Hiç yapma, hiç yapma.
Hiç yapma. Uzak durması işimize gelir.
Berfin, ovo, ovo, ovo. Güzel Öznur, sıkıntı yok, güzel.
It's a little deep. Because that's so deep, they will have a chance now. Switzerland can take a run at the one that's the red stone sitting in the top 12, top 8.
So they do want to get that one in the rings as well. And clip it, and just grazes it. Actually moves it a little bit, but still in. Both teams have used their timeout, so they won't be able to have their coach come out to talk about things in this 10th end.
Look at that. It actually could have pushed it. They're Switzerland had to be very careful not to push it in.
Sen de atarsan yine
So
açmaya
for
çalışacaklar
Czechia, they
bunları.
have to make a decision as to what time they want to go in here. 3 red stones to come.
Gel.
Do you make your play now? They're going to have a
Süremiz var
discussion.
zaten. Bak senle guard alalım yine diyorum.
Tamam.
Tamam onu yine açacaklar.
Yine
En
o
son
zaman
ben
sonra sen friz geleceksin
sen
işte.
ben bunu atarım ondan sonra.
Aynen.
Hata yaparlarsa
Daha senin
ikinci.
2 tane taşın var.
Aynen.
Biz bunda da guard alalım.
You
Bir
could
de
throw
çift
one more
denesin
center
var.
guard and then maybe make a play on your skips first.
Guard. Bir tur daha deneyelim. Daha 2 taşımız var. Taşlarımızın
I think this is a
pozisyonu
good
güzel.
call, Luke. Just
Evet.
one more guard here.
Probably about a halfway
Yeah,
same
you want
line
it,
as the previous.
yeah, you want it to be a little higher, I think. You don't want to give her a chance to play that run double again. And the one on the side, just you like the look of that redstone just hanging around there. It's blocking the draw path for sure, if nothing else.
Al al. Yavaşsa Berfin.
Hayır değil. Yavaş değil. Hemen hemen
Yavaş
aynı.
değil.
Hatta daha hızlısı.
This one's going to slip a little deep too.
Yap Berfin biraz yap. Yap biraz yap. Yap. Yap. Yap.
Güzel. Güzel hızlı.
Güzel. Hiç sıkıntı yok güzel.
Ich glaube, die zwei sind einfach mega dünn, aber ja, also mega dünn. Halbe, oder? Halbe, bist du nicht? Ja.
Geht er da hinten drauf?
Ich glaube, ist einfacher als der. Ich glaube nicht, dass der da hinten drauf kommt, wenn du so kommst. Also der ist eher Gefahr, glaube ich, jetzt auch nicht mehr so.
Mich stört der mehr als der dort, ehrlich gesagt. Mich stört der da mehr als der. Darum,
Schon?
ja.
Ja, ist einfach nachher ein Doppel wahrscheinlich, aber ja. Schon gut, ich glaube, ich kann es lange, wenn ich eine Seite offen habe. Gut? So? Ja. Ich glaube, halbe ist gut, Iris. So?
So trying to play the double peel the other way this time.
And those are the 2 problem rocks really for Switzerland. It's not really the one on the right-hand side. As we look at it, their concern is, though, if you hit it the wrong way, does that red one go straight back onto the yellow? Like if you hit this top one too thin, that is a very real possibility. So trying to make them both go here. You got to hit a good thick, probably half to 3/4, I would think, to make both of those reds spill.
It's the last of third stones for Silvana Tiranzoni.
Kom, bring dat, kom. Kom, druk.
Well,
Like that.
that's the worry. It goes back, spills it out of the 4 foot at least.
That works. It definitely opens things up. Savannah not overly happy, but
Onlar arkasından
mean,
gelecek atarsa.
you didn't want to hit your yellow, but you've got nothing out front now.
Tamam biz buraya atsak.
Not a
ben
lot
buraya
of places to
atsam.
hide here for Czechia.
Bundan Rambek deneyecek zaten her türlü burada kalacak. Ondan sonra ben bir tane daha arkasına gireceğim.
But now with this setup, do you put one
Back four da olur.
still out in
Sıkıntı yok,
front?
Tamam. Aynen.
I don't mind
Ben sana
a
ne
guard
dedim?
here.
İncesinden vurursa gelir dedim, geldi.
If you play now to the 4 foot, so if you play back, sorry, if you draw in behind that redstone, Switzerland will likely try and play the double. If they make the double,
Atınca zaten
then you
Rambek
have nowhere to
deneyecek.
hide.
Rambek denediği zaman
At
orada
least if you
kalıyor
throw
ya.
the guard
Ben bir tane daha arkasına gireceğim.
and they peel it, then you do this on your second one.
Yani şu an guard atsak önce o girerse eğer hiçbir şey yapamam. Tamam bekle.
It's tough. It's a tough hill to climb here right now if you're Czechia.
We'll make that decision. When do you take that chance?
97.
Don't have that last stone advantage, so that's the difference. 78% on 8 draws.
Şafakla. Tamamı sizde. Çizgisi güzel
Yani.
Şafakla. Sophie Topur. Şafakla.
Şafak yok.
If the line's perfect, they could take this one even T-line a little bit back as well.
Yap. Bırakma.
Şafak çağır.
Yap.
Yürü.
Big sweep early.
Yeah, they were panicking a little, I think.
Yani.
But didn't get by a lot, but they were just concerned.
I think if it has the weight, it probably touches that top one.
clearen. Aussen.
Aynen işte.
Kaç tızım?
Turkey line 3 here, just none of their stones in a great scoring position. So for Switzerland, which double are they going to take on here?
Guessing probably the top one to the one on the left, so that worst case is you roll out and your shooter's gone, so you don't leave anything to hide behind.
Jo.
Alina Petz missed a couple runbacks early in this game. We're all tied up at 7.
Can she make the thin double here?
Would love to have a kicker on the side as well. And that'll just over the top. So where do you place this? Probably not quite to the top of the forefoot.
So it's interesting, if the players had a chance to look at the stats like we do, then they would want to see Alina probably throw a hit on their last one. So that means you would probably go top 8, top 4, so that you force the opposition to hit. However, if you have the chance to lie 3 here and you want to force her to draw against 3, it doesn't matter if she's drawn against 1 or 2 or 3, but it's what you want your opposition to throw.
And when they've needed to make a draw, Alina Petz has been
Great.
perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would be tempted to bite the forefoot, but
well, let's see where Chet Yildiz puts this final stone of hers in this 10th end. Had an early 5-2 lead in the game. Tied it up in 9.
oh, this one's coming in a little deep here.
Come down and it'll go.
You almost want to keep taking it back.
Goes back 4. If that's top 4, it's different now. The hit has to stick around, cannot roll away. But according to the stats, this is the shot you want her to play in this game, is a hit as opposed to a draw.
Exactly. Just you wanted it to be on the higher end of the scale. So open hit here now for Alina Petz and Team Switzerland to continue on their roll and take the win over Turkey, who has played absolutely phenomenal today.
All they can do is watch Alina Petz, the last stone of this 10th end, to win their 4th here in Sydney, Canada. Can they hold it? Big sweep will stick in the forefoot, and it is good for another Swiss win